be once again live on the internet. Hello, everybody. Welcome, whether you're watching this on Twitch, YouTube, Vimeo if it got pirated and uploaded illegally, Netflix in the future if we get our deal through. Welcome. I hope you're ready for the onslaught of adventures that's about to occur. We will not be here with Quinny today, unfortunately, but she should be back with the adventuring party. I was about to say tomorrow, but next session, hopefully. I'm hoping. I didn't know she was going to be away, but she messaged me last minute, so she will just be
classic Quinnifer.
Gone. Thankfully, though, that I don't think there's going to be any... I mean, the only thing that could happen, maybe, is that if you... I mean, some of the encounters are now going to be slightly more difficult, technically, if they're run into, because I haven't really changed anything. I figured you guys are probably powerful enough. You guys can handle yourselves.
I had 3 separate fights in my game yesterday.
3 separate fights?
John. We had 3 separate fights in one day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh my goodness!
That's a chunk.
I went down to 0 HP in the first round and just stayed down there for a little while. So if that's anything like this, then...
We're in for some trauma.
I'm just in for a traumatic weekend.
It's laughing from the ether.
Would it really be D&D without just, you know, a garnishing of trauma on the top?
I mean, Neff could answer that one.
The answer is no. We need a lot of trauma. But...
Brian could also answer that one. Leah could also answer that one. Everyone just answers like...
Cries in Traumatized by Emma, but also... We very much...
And Thomas.
We very much stand. And Thomas, true.
Mostly Emma.
Thomas
Most
in due
Emma.
course.
I hope to one day be...
To hit where it hurts.
I hope to one day be as traumatic as you, Emma. You're an inspiration to me, so...
Oopsie.
Much love.
Oh no.
Rise and possessed wife.
Yeah, I've been saying that in person now. Oh my god. But okay. With that, hello. Session 43. We will resume with... Was it Aelin taking over Lily's recap this week, and then in 2 weeks from now when we do the next session, it will be Lily's recap. Swapping around. If you'd be so kind, Aelin.
Hotel,
Welcome to
Transylvania.
Take it away.
Just lockdown things. I can't put the sloth in my hair.
So I was distracted by sloth. So we pick up in the morning after our watches. We have to deal with dead Brutus, in which, by dealing with dead Brutus, we search his body. As you do, right?
Cash.
I almost did the thing that happened in the session, which was Baron called himself Karen, but Baron suggested it, so Baron does the mage hand, gets 430 gold. Also a note that says she is still with us, which means Medusa's not really dead.
Good. That's fine.
While we try and puzzle that out, Ilaria makes a face, which Jade picks up on. Drudy sees like a shiny on the ground and goes and like investigates. And while the party investigates the gem, Jade holds Ilaria back for you know just a little chat.
I'm only holding you back.
I was envisioning like a wrestler group, like, no, don't do it. Don't. Let me at him.
Let me at him, coach. Anyway, so it turns out the gem is a like holocron, and inside it is a recording that Lady Valentine has sent us saying, "Sorry, I couldn't do anything more for you. I hope this reaches you safely. I'm sorry." And then we see this conversation between Calarel and his master, Zephses, who is the, like, werecat. I'm assuming werecat. I'm gonna just put that theory out there.
I like the theory.
Merchant that we were like, okay, look, buddy, we don't have time for you. We have way too much other shit on our plate. And so we just kind of bypass that encounter altogether. Anyways, so basically it boils down to Zephses is like, hey, you haven't been doing a good job, Galarel. You need to bring that village back because we're going to use all the people in it as sacrifices. And you also need to like keep tailing the group and get the stones so that we can bring through. Hang on. There's something important in there. I have it written down.
If you want me to chime in at any point, hit me up.
Uh, do, 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 do. Okay, so that part was af. Zephses has the Fountain of Youth at his fingertips.
Mhm.
He is very close to. Bring the one who shall not be named into existence so that they can reign supreme.
Oh, yeah.
But in order to do that, they need the stones. Also, Kal-El is related to Baron. As the only
He's
human
not
in the
here to-
party.
Oh,
That's what you guys
He's
are
not here to
suspecting.
say he ain't.
Exactly.
True.
Also, that we find out that the Medusa we fought was only a third of the original, and they have 2 more at their disposal. But basically, they have fragmented her into multiple pieces, and now they have an aggressive side of her that's terrifying.
The vile, aggressive side.
Yeah. Also, bronze is in the plane of water.
Water, a silly place to be.
But they don't think that the stone is in the plane of water. So. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Also, Zephses mentions that, like, Kal-El's great-grandson is in the group, which is where we get that he is related to Baron, because humans.
Humans.
And then Zephses attacks Lady Valentine with, like, a massive sledgehammer, and the image fizzles. Yep.
Just a little bit intense.
So, conversation with Alaria and Jade. Jade's like, hey, what's all that sus bullshit about? Except for a lot more eloquently. And Alaria shows him that she kept one of Medusa's, like, snake hairs. Also, Medusa's whole body is in Baron's bag of holding still. So...
Sans the head, which I think was pulverized.
No, the whole most of her went in there. It was just like some blood and a little bit of viscera that was left. So she took some of that viscera that was left in the form of one of, like, the snake hair strands. Apparently, this is the snake hair strands motion.
I imagine that when they're like on her head and she's like, "Hello," they're like, whoop, 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 whoop. So accurate.
Yeah, they're getting their wiggle on. So Alaria was having some doubts, having some, like, hope, having some maybe unwise decisions, thoughts about possibly bringing Medusa back. So she instead entrusts Jade with a little, like, jarred snake hair. And it's like, I can't make up a decision that's going to be wise right now, so here, you hold on to this. And Jade's like, I'm going to tell Core about this, and I'm also going to hold on to this for a day in case you change your mind. And Jade returns as the hologram is, like, fizzling out. And, goes to talk to Core, tells Core about the, like, the bum thing. Also details that were in the hologram, this, Baron is related to Kal-El. That's a fact. We know they were in the windmill. And Lady Valentine looked a little bit, like, worried and, like, more mussed than usual. Also, Zephses always has looked the same. He just always looks the same. Maybe a little bit werecat, but he looks the same.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell y'all a very dumb thought that I just had.
Go, please do.
Me saying where cat led to there cat. There windmill. Anyway.
Where cat? There cat.
Yep. And yeah, it wasn't like a base or anything, it was just a secret meeting place. So after like also we filled Jade in on like what he missed. And then this is the point where Jade and Core have that conversation. Core's like, thanks for telling me, and then he goes to glare at Ilaria, and all of a sudden Ilaria's gone. And
no.
Meanwhile, Tamar and Avros are grilling Baron about information about Colorel. And we're trying to figure out what our game plan is. And Core's like, Ilaria has gone missing. And the last time anybody saw her was Jade's conversation. So Drudy sends a familiar to go like look for her and tracks her all the way up to the teleportation circle, which begins to like glow and then fade like it's been like it's recently gone off. So Ilaria has gone through the mysterious teleportation circle. Core is pissed, and Avro suggests that Ilaria may be a lost cause and we should just leave her. And Jade full-on clocks Avros in the face with a natural 20, and Avros goes flying across the room into a bookcase, takes, like, he goes from, like, full health to bloodied all in one go. It's excellent, because he deserved that. But Jade does apologize for maybe taking things a little bit too far.
That was fun, though. That was a fun scene.
Drudy glares at Avros, but then heals him. Just a little. Before going anywhere, Core just sends a message to Ilaria. Which is essentially the angry text message of, like, what the fuck? And
What the fuck?
Gets the response of, Core, I have made a mistake, I am stuck, and I don't know how to get back. So, essentially, we all have to go through the teleportation circle.
Ah, fuck. I can't believe you've done this. The entire
Yes.
group at Ilaria.
I do want to say, Core would swear a lot more if I swore, but I only ever swear when I'm really angry.
That's fair.
So that's just a choice I made.
Fair enough. I did actually write down the, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? Where have you gone? Come back. I am very angry. This is bullshit. Love, Core, your beloved son.
Chotamate, could you stop
That's it.
wandering out of our general vicinity, Ilaria? But with that,
Also, there's some, like, cute, like, Jade, Core, Tamar. Do we have a ship name for them? There's some,
do we?
I don't know, sparkly green boys, partnery bonding, and it's very cute. Just sprinkled in as a treat. We can enjoy. We all head to the teleportation circle, and we heal up Avros just a little bit more. And before going through the teleportation circle, Core does another message to Ilaria. Can you describe your general surroundings? Any danger we need to be aware of when we come and pick you up?
Comrade!
Oh, so-
Comrade!
Comrade.
Comrade!
I like it.
Comrade! I'm sorry, I'll...
Alright, I will also post my suggestion in the chat because I come up with very good ship names. Alright.
Ilaria's like, well, there's a lot of trees, a lot of nature. The sky looks very fake, very false. I like that one. I like them all. And Core informs us that we're going back to the weird bad plane that we just teleported out of, like, before we got here. And Tamar and Avros try to run, but we grab them, and we're doing this. And we all cross into the teleportation circle, and Ilaria did not mention that once again we are falling from the sky. The sky is not following, it is us. Core can cast Featherfall, but not on everyone we've got. So, Dritty wild shapes into a Tressum and just sits on top of Avaros's head. And once we are fairly close to the ground, Core casts Featherfall. And also Jade and Core do some fun synchronized aerials together. Tamar looks like he's skydiving. Avaros is just in a complete state of panic. We all land safely on the ground.
And as you do, you are now back to the present. I would like you to make me some game rolls before we continue from here. To
Game
randomize
rolls?
some gay rolls. Some gay rolls
Here
for our
gay
game.
rolls. Here I thought
Yes.
we were gonna have bread rolls.
Or just little gay
Not
rolls.
funny.
Alright. So, what I'm going to need... How many... Let me just figure out what I need to be rolled. I need... Let's see. Can I make everybody roll? I think I can, actually. Alright. So, first of all, I would like both Aelin and Lily to roll a d12 for me each, firstly. And then tell me what you get.
3.
3
11.
and 11. Ooh, okay. And...
Wasn't a good sound.
That's just just generating things. And now, as you fall to the floor,
I think I've calming ring.
land safely. Jade, Emma,
Hi.
could you
me.
both roll for me a single d4 roll as you feel a tingling sensation as you reach the
Okay.
ground?
So Jade rolls a 1 and Emma rolls a no.
You know what? You can actually
Emma
both roll
rolled
and
a
tell me
2.
what 2 rolls are. So you got a 1
Emma rolled
and
a 2.
and a 2. Actually, that makes things pretty interesting. That means
Oh no.
if you go here, I'll put an asterisk there. Okay.
No, not moving. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay here and wait for Ilaria to come to us. No movement.
Yup.
That is a plan indeed, and I wish you the best of luck with your endeavors if you can manage to do that. However, as you land, you find yourselves in a nice green sort of area. I will open up the map on the stream. Boom! We have some more visibility going on today. So you find yourselves in a
But look.
lush green area. I'll try to describe as much as I can, so, in case you don't
Ooh,
know.
I like it.
So, also, I just realized I need to get rid of, like, some characters here. Who have I got? I have SM. Who on earth is that?
Well,
Sapphire Man.
Sapphire Man! Sapphire Man is with you. I was thinking, like, is that, like, Small
Is
Man?
he, or did we just leave him behind? Because maybe we just left him behind in the Greengrocers.
I think he likes the greengrocers. I think he's very entrepreneurial.
We
He-
didn't say he was coming, so.
If
Yeah.
nobody
I think
had...
Sapphire Man is holding them the safe house.
Alright, I'll tell you what. This is how I'm going to do it. I will let you, Jade,
Hi.
to roll... a persuasion check to see if you would have had time to convince
Okay.
Sapphire Man to stay back. If not, however, if you had not done anything, he would have tricked with you.
And he would have fallen.
He would have fallen all the way down. However, that'll make for a fun little thing.
No!
So what did you
You're
roll?
aware that Jade is not very charismatic.
It's okay. You're rolling against an I rolled terribly, so you've got a very easy DC.
Stunning. Okay. So what's fun is that the roll is low.
hmm
So, I don't know if it'll pass. Sorry, my page is just reloading. Opening up my skills.
I will delete Ilaria's little bubble
Persuasion?
there. Yeah, persuasion.
You sure?
Go for it.
Really?
Yes, yes,
What
please.
if I don't want to go for it?
Then he is dying. He will die
Okay, wow.
of
that's
a
really
heart
tricky.
attack.
It
But he'll
is
have.
oh my gosh! What is this death note? It's a 9.
It's a 9. Oh, you easily beat it. You were rolling against.
Oh, okay.
You were rolling against a 3. So. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
It was.
I have a +0, so that could have been a fail.
If I had rolled even a smidget better, this was a Neff-esque roll. So, Sapphire Man was just no hesitation at all. I understand. I will wait here. I will guard the grocer. from
And then we
potential
just forget
danger.
about him.
And then you never see him ever again, as the DM writes him out of the script. Let me just cross his name out in all future pages and all the previous pages. There we go. Okay, cool. Sapphire Man. Who? Sapphire who? Who man?
Who man?
Who else is here? Okay, D is gone. There's no Dariel. Which leaves just Tamar, Avros, Virgidi, Core, Jade. Is there anybody else with you? No. I'm getting rid of this green circle. It is just the 5 of you. Baron is gone. He has fallen elsewhere. You don't care about Baron right now. It's not even on your mind. You actually just completely forget that Baron was ever a part of this group to begin with. Baron who?
Who?
B Bendorder. What? We're here. You are in what essentially looks to you like a crossroads of sort. You've got 3 different branching paths, and right in front of you, as you feather fall down to the nice, gravelly, sort of lush path beneath you. I know I said gravelly and lush, but maybe they're lush rocks. You know, maybe Jake could appreciate that, Core as well.
Lush rocks. Jade's feeling a bit flustered when he sees the rocks.
The lush rocks. Is Jade a lush rock?
Jade is a lush rock. He's covered in like moss and stuff, but he like scrapes it off each morning.
All right, so you see before you. Now this land that you see before you, you see trees in the distance in all directions that you head in. You could see that if you head in any direction from here, whether you're going straight ahead or in a southerly direction or anything like that, you see that wherever you end up trekking, you will eventually start to reach some sort of forest. There are forested areas. However, this place is a bit more of a clearing. You essentially have 3 branching paths from the center where you're currently standing. Directly in front of you is a signpost made of some nice looking... It's a very nice looking signpost. It doesn't really match any of the trees here. One thing that you do notice is that the trees here match that sort of weird material plane-esque kind of foliage that you saw in the previous plane that you were stuck in, although this one is clearly a bit of a different one. And it looks just much bigger from standing here in the center. Or wherever you presume this to be. This might not be the center, necessarily, but from this point where you are, it looks to be pretty massive. That said, with the trees being the way they are, very different from the Feywild, you notice that the sign itself looks like it's probably made of some sort of Feywild-esque wood. The planks, which the sign is made out of, do not seem to match any of the other wood around here. That's just sort of a curiosity that you might notice upon landing here. But looking around, I would like you all to roll for me perception checks to see anything past just the immediate surroundings around you. And then hit me up with what you roll. I'll roll for Avros and Tamar as well.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's not a terrible roll.
Avros is blind, cool. And Tamar is
no.
worse.
Oh no, it's 25.
25!
Nine.
Alright. And a 9, okay. Corey, you're a little bit distracted, but you're keeping 9 up. And Virginia.
I'm angry. Furious.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. That feeling of it's like, don't panic, just pull up a calculator. It doesn't matter which one.
You got this.
I feel that.
You got this.
24.
24. Alright, so Core, you might not be as quick to notice some of these things, and some of the more the nuances of the details of your landscape might not be something that you're looking for. You're probably inspecting other things at the moment. You're checking out the foliage, maybe looking at Avros and Tamar being absolutely oblivious to the surroundings, looking at each other. Tamar looking at Avros. Avros looks like he just survived a traumatic event, and has just woken up from being passed out, which I think happened. He passed out last session, but I forget if you revived him.
We woke him up and he vomited.
He could pass out again.
Tamar and Avros are both looking at the puke. Avros looks a little bit shy, like, sorry. And Tamar is looking at him like, well, okay. And Corey, you're just taking this in. Virgidi, Jade, you're both having a bit more of a look around the landscape. Some of the stuff that Core would notice as well is that, as well as these branching paths, you notice that one to your immediate right, heading to the southeast of where you're currently located, presuming that all these maps are pointing north. Also, shoutouts to Chet and Peku on Patreon. That's CZEPEKU on Patreon. I almost forgot. For providing these maps. Lots of love. Thanks, guys. Go check them out. Or else, I will kill you. In a game.
Oh my god.
That's a pretty shout, I feel like. But alright, to your southeast, there's a path that is currently very loosely barricaded by some what look like sharpened bits of wood tied together in these sort of crosses to make it a bit more difficult to traverse that sort of terrain. You'll have to either go around or try to trek over those if you don't want to get damaged in a piercing manner by these bits of wood. But that path is a little bit more blocked off for whatever reason. It's hard to say. But it's not ultra inaccessible. It's just like you can move that easily with some sort of a force or anything like that. But the paths to your north and the paths to your southwest, or to your bottom left, if you're looking at it from that perspective, are both free to roam. Straight ahead of you, the path kind of curves into a darker sort of forest. It looks like that's much more dense than the other two paths. And in your general area, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. There's a lot of lush green area. You've got a little bit of a stone wall and a bit of a bush hedge sort of a structure following the path haphazardly. It doesn't look like it's been maintained very well. And this place looks like it's fairly old. To your south directly as well, there's another path branching off of the southeastern path that seems to head directly down, although that is also barricaded. And those head a little bit darker. They also look like they're heading into a forested area, although not quite as dense. And to your left and right, those two paths seem like they head into slightly less densely forested areas. But from where you're standing currently, it's very difficult to see whether or not there is anything of note past any of them. But now that you've landed here, looking around, you do notice one thing that is a little bit eerie, and that is that there is not much life around you. However, those of you with high perception rolls, Cora, what it might look like to you, those of you who rolled above a 20 will notice that in the distance, you see some sort of creatures frolicking about. Hard to say exactly what they are. They are vaguely pig-sized. But outside of that, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot more interesting stuff to generally perceive. There are some butterflies and creatures of that nature as well.
Yep.
Just the
Can I
regulars
make
of
some
life.
kind of check? Sorry, Aiden, you had your hand up. Sorry. Would you want to go first?
I would like to fly up into the air as a
Mhm.
Tressum because I have not wild shaped back, and I will probably be Tressum for the next
Mhm.
4 hours.
Mhm.
I would like to fly up and get a better view of the surroundings.
Alright, so you fly up to get a better view. While you do this, as you fly up into the air, Jade, what was it that you would like to... Or Emma, what would you like to bring up?
Jade is just going to see whether he can recognize any of this nature as being the same nature that was present in the other plane we were in. Oh, he's trying to figure out if we're in the same plane again.
Okay, roll for me your choice of either investigation... Yeah, is there a nature check? I think there's a nature check, right?
Can I try survival?
Oh yeah, sure,
Considering
survival
that's,
works
like,
as well.
tracking.
Yep, perfect. That's actually even better.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Alright. As Rodriguez is getting an eye of the landscape, a bird's eye view, a Tressum's eye view? Tressum's eye view, sure. You're giving this area an inspection to see whether or not is it like this sort of foliage seems to match the plane that you were in before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, essentially.
Okay. One thing that you would notice is that this sort of shrubbery, this sort of grass, is stuff that is native to the material plane. Although it seems like from your Dirty 20 survival check, it's right now, I mean, the area that you're in, from your good perception earlier, it seems like that this doesn't necessarily match the geography of the plane that you were in earlier. However, the foliage seems like it could also be from the same sort of place. The trees, the grass, the flowers, all of those sort of things that would be native to what you would know as the material plane were also growing in the other artificial plane. The only thing being strange as well is the sky, which has no clouds in it and doesn't look like it's a bunch of real sky at all. Also seems to kind of vaguely resemble the other one, although there's nothing yet to concretely indicate that you are either in the exact same plane. So far, this is only geography that is new to you so far. That's what you would gain.
Gotcha.
So there's nothing necessarily to rule it out, but nothing to confirm that it's the same place either just yet.
You can neither confirm nor deny.
For now.
Gotcha.
But at the very least, you can probably confirm that this does match, like, the aesthetics of the previous one. So it probably is some sort of closed-off space. Closed-off plane
And
dimension.
is it aesthetically pleasing?
I think that's up to you. If you like the foliage of, like, the material plane, kind of vaguely where you grew up. I grew up where you were chiseled. That sort of area, it sort of vaguely matches that. All of these sort of trees and this sort of shrubbery, this is all sort of native to the material plane, so this is stuff that you are used to being around. So if that's the stuff that you like, then I think you would find it pretty pleasant. Aside from the extremely unnerving sky, but outside of that, I think it's pretty nice. But I think that's up to Jade whether or not that's the kind of stuff that you would like. If you prefer the Feywild and you think that the material plane has nothing
this
on
is
it,
fine.
then
This is fine.
you're doing well. with that, Madridi, you are taking in a peek. You're looking around. And carrying forward your very good perception from earlier, if you'd like to, the stuff that you would see from up here is that, once again, you can kind of gain this after flying up just a little bit. This is a lot flatter than the other plane you were in. The other plane that you were in had a mountainous landscape in certain areas, or a very hilly landscape in certain areas, which I actually think you didn't explore when you were there. But there were hills and like golems and stuff moving around. Whereas in this one, it seems like this is a little bit more flatter. It does have its sort of like rolling hills as well, but it's overall a lot more flat. And whilst you can see the edges of what looks like to be this sort of island that you're on right now, and the water kind of stretched to a point, it does look like that this is sort of a different shape to the previous plane you were on. It's hard to say what kind of shape exactly. If you'd like to roll for me a perception check with advantage.
All right. That's a 23.
With a 23, you can kind of... You notice that the island is, in a way, is very symmetrical. It's like sectioned off. And it almost kind of resembles a flower. Like, you've got this sort of central area that you've managed to teleport into, which is, by the way, 100% by chance. You could have ended up anywhere in this zone. That's what all the rolls were for. But you ended up basically directly in the middle of what looks like to be like a flower-shaped sort of island, in a way.
Can I put this out there? Is it maybe a pentagonal-shaped island?
It's actually got many more sides than that. This is a...
Okay.
1, 2,
How
3,
many?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-sided flower. If you can imagine. If you can imagine. It's got...
Yeah.
The equivalent of like maybe 1, 2, 3... It would have like 6 petals, basically, and the petals would each have like a bulging edge, kind of. If you were like making it polygonal, you know, you could make each one of those flat single edges into like 2. So that's kind of how it comes across. So it's like 6 petals, 6 major areas that you can travel through. Hello, welcome to my D&D campaign. You're a big flower.
We like geometry here.
Flower Island.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make an entire big place that was just a flower shape. But that's kind of where you are. From here, looking straight ahead of you, if you want a description of all the places, carrying forward your perception with advantage, which you can then relate to the group however you'd like to, straight ahead of you, so you've got essentially 6 areas. You've got 3 in front of you. You've got like 1 directly ahead, and then up left, up right, and then directly behind you, and down left, down right, if you want to put it that sort of way, in this sort of flower arrangement. Directly ahead of you, you've got basically a forest that you can't see through very well. It seems like there's some like patches where you can kind of see a little bit, but for the most part, it's like completely shrouded in forest. Very hard to see through. To the right, it looks like there's another sort of forest with a sort of bigger sort of clearing, and you can kind of see something moving there. It's hard to say exactly what. It doesn't look like a creature necessarily, but you see some sort of movement. Just barely. It's hard to say, it's kind of far away. And then to your left, what was the roll in the D4? It was a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Let's get to that one last. That's the most interesting one, in my opinion, because of the rolls. But okay,
Cool.
top left, we'll get to last. Behind you directly, again, is a bit more of a foresty area, but it quickly turns into more of a plain. And as that sort of stretches on, you do see some sort of structure further on. It's hard to say exactly what it is. It looks like a small sort of building of some sort of kind. Doesn't look like it's guarded by anything. You don't see any sort of life forms around there. It's hard to say exactly what it is. It doesn't look like it's very occupied. It looks maybe even a little bit abandoned from this perspective, but it's hard to say from like this far up. Down left, you've got what looks like more winding roads that don't really lead anywhere, in between some trees, but that's kind of the... Oh, sorry, no, wait, hold on. That's where you are currently. I read the wrong description. You are currently in the section that's like winding roads that don't seem to lead anywhere except into trees. To your down left, bottom left, you have a massive statue of some sort. It's hard to ascertain what exactly it's of from this perspective. You see the road kind of leading down towards that. And there's not a whole lot of shrubbery around there. Not a lot of trees or foliage or anything like that. This is more of a rolling sort of hills area with a bit of a river going through. And you can't see much more than that in that section. At bottom right, you see what looks like, it's hard to say, some sort of metallic scraps in, again, a sort of rolling hill sort of area with a bit of a river flowing through. You kind of see that through this whole flower, there's a bit of a river going from like the top left to the bottom right, just kind of parting the whole island in half, almost. Not quite, but sort of like that. It kind of winds around a little bit. But outside of those scraps, you kind of exactly see what's there. It looks like it might be the remains of some sort of large mechanical thing, large metallic sort of creature. It's hard to say exactly from this vantage point. That's what you see. And top left, what initially looks like is again a forested area with a sort of plain with nothing sort of in it. You do see a sort of electrical explosion happen there as you're inspecting this. And while you might not necessarily hear the explosion from here, you do kind of everybody who's on the floor would feel the shake. It would feel like a small tremor in the ground. And as you see this Vegeta, after this sort of electric sort of magical explosion happens in that section of the grid, you do see that what's left behind afterwards, in a rather bizarre twist, is there's a building there. Another small building. This looks like a rectangular sort of building that doesn't match the other one that you saw. It doesn't look abandoned or anything like that. It's very well kept. But it's small. It's hard to say exactly what it is. It might be a sort of inn. It might be a house. Hard to say. But it has just appeared after exploding, which is usually goes the other way around. Usually a building explodes and there's no building left. But this is kind of what you get from that vantage point. Everybody else on the ground, you feel a slight tremor as Vegeta is checking around the surroundings.
Do I get the idea that maybe the electrical explosion was Ilaria?
Do you have any idea that it might be Ilaria?
Because we've seen her cast lightning bolt several times.
Yeah. Okay, from this vantage point, I would say that it's maybe a little bit hard to say. Although I don't necessarily know if you know of any sort of a magical spell that Ilaria might have that could cause a magical explosion. Although you have seen her cast lightning bolt, so I think that's a reasonable suspicion.
Okay.
Although it's hard to say. There isn't much aside from anything that you've seen or just described to me that you might be able to garner outside of that without any sort of extra investigation.
Okay.
Okay.
So Dridi gonna fly back down and then start basically pawing into the dirt a little diagram of the island.
Ooh.
Very, very simple diagram of the island.
I will draw for you a slight diagram in that case that you can show to everybody. Let's see. Let's draw a little river. This is a river going through the island. Let's make it a little bit blue with my pen. And now I'll draw the sort of...
Island river.
Island
I
river.
would like to message Ilaria when there's like a moment.
You could have certainly done this, so I'll just draw this island and then we'll get to your message. Okay, so this is a general shape. This might not look super awesome, mega great. Let me switch
General shape.
General shape.
Service.
So this is kind of the vague shape. It's a blobby flower. But you guys are essentially in what looks like the dead center of this island.
Okay.
Dridi puts a little X over where we are.
I'll put a little X over where you are.
And then also just kind of like trees, like hills,
I'll put in some
and
trees. Okay, I'll put
building.
Trees.
Like a square for building.
Building, that's new.
Alright, I'll put in all the massive, I'll put in all trees where, the densely forested areas are.
Yeah.
The sun is going down outside. Oh well.
Let's see,
The
and
sun
there's
is
a little bit
going
here.
down, 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 down,
Down,
down,
down.
down.
Alright, so all the little triangles are kind of trees, so you can see kind of ahead of you is a densely forested area, and there's forest around you elsewhere, but it's none of the forest elsewhere is quite as dense as the forest right ahead of you.
Okay.
And now I'll put squares for the buildings, so you can see two here. So this is a square directly beneath you, and a square to the upper left. And I'll color them in. I'll make them very dark squares so you can very easily see. So those two squares kind of show where those two buildings are. And I'll put a question mark where you saw something moving. This is going to be an interesting diagram. So question mark there, something moving over there. I don't know if this is mirrored on your end or not.
Maybe.
Let's see, there's that over there.
If it's mirrored, everything is mirrored. Therefore, it'll probably be okay.
What should I do for a statue? I'll put a smiley face for
Draw
a statue.
Little man.
Like a little stick figure, because that's probably how Trudy would do it.
Okay, I put a...
Because she's just doing this with a claw.
Alright, so I ended up drawing a face and then I turned it into a stick figure. It's not actually in the ocean, but that is a big statue right there. So it's a smiling statue, just being like, hey, I promise I'm not anything menacing. Come visit me.
Gotcha.
Then there is
Right.
the scrapyard with like mechanical shit. So I'm just gonna draw a gear, like a very. Oh, this was a mistake. I don't know how to draw gears. Oh, wait, this is actually not that bad.
Draw a circle and then take notches out of the edges.
It's like a Dr. Seuss gear. All right, that's my gear.
Wonderful. So Jade wants to look to Core because Core seems to be. I think it's Laria we're looking for. So he's going to defer to what Core wants to do, how he wants to proceed. Is Jade's thought.
Okay.
Core's doing ascending to Ilaria, like.
Okay. So what would you like to send to Alaria?
Hello, we have arrived. Can you send sparks in the air or something? We're not moving. I'm not getting involved in this shit.
Alright, you send it off. And you're on the same plane of existence as her. Can you imagine if it's like, and I want you to roll to see if it makes it past the plane? No, you roll, you send the message and it reaches Alaria. She's on the same plane as you. I think you could gather, because the message just bing! There's no like bandwidth problems, you know, with your internet connection. You just make it straight to her.
Reception's great.
You got great reception with Lara here, basically. She sends a message back, and she sounds sickly. I'm sick, but a nice lady has taken me in. Come find me in the northern area.
Jesus.
I'm sick.
I can't come into school today.
You yesterday.
Me yesterday. I'm sick, as I'm like with Lily.
Core looks put out, to say the least. He's like, there's some handsome Gretel shit up in here, guys.
Hansel and
Gotta go
Gretel.
save Ilaria.
She's in a gingerbread house.
I would not be surprised.
Well, so she's apparently been taken in by some old lady. That's the
Rule number 1, don't trust old ladies.
Very true. They're all trained assassins.
Yeah, we'll
True.
go with that.
not
All
false.
of the old lady monks that I observed in my temple could kill you with but a flick of the wrist.
What is a
I
butter
always heard
flick?
that they ate people, but
Avros looks at you. Sorry, Tamar looks at you. Sorry, Avros looks at Tamar.
Tamar looks at Jade. Jade looks at Core.
Core rolls his eyes. Come on, boys, let's go.
All right, which way are you heading? You've got essentially 6 places to go, or six
Just
main
go for-
destinations.
Okay.
So all you know is she's been taken in by an old lady. So going
I
from
assume that's going to be
building
near the building.
all right, you've got 2
Yeah,
buildings. So which one of these 2? You've got the crazy electrical appeared out of nowhere building, or you've got the maybe it's abandoned building.
Let's go to the maybe it's abandoned.
Maybe it's abandoned feels more right.
Okay, so in that case,
Immediately lead the way.
Virginia, you've got a mental map of the area, so I'm going to say that you're going to be able to navigate pretty effortlessly, and because if you ever did get lost for any reason, you would certainly be able to fly up again and be able to check your surroundings. Now, in Tressum form, you will not be able to use your pillar, but if you would like to traverse a little bit further and make up a little more time, or more ground for the same amount of time, you've got that available to you. The rest of you, all your pillars are in working form, so if anybody would like to use them for any reason, those options are available to you. So, as you head down, you head to the southern area, essentially. Now, before you head this way, you've got a choice to make about how you get there. You've got a little bit of a barbed fence to get over, which is blocking your path to get to the southern point.
Parkour.
Parkour, alright. Would you like to roll
Jade
for
will
me?
start by throwing Core, and then he will leap over himself, and Doriti can fly.
Alright.
Yeah, Journey can fly. She's just gonna keep flying.
Avros and Tamara are just going to play tic-tac-toe in the main center square. No. So, Jade, would
you
you
said it's
like...
like a barbed wire fence?
It's effectively kind of like that, although a little bit more easier to get over. It's just like a bunch of strewn about wooden crosses, essentially, that are like spiky.
Lovely.
Okay, Jade actually does realise that Tamara and Avros will probably need a hand, so he will throw Avros.
Alright, would you like to roll for me a strength check?
Would you?
I'll be
take-
impressed if you can shot put Tamar. That's when I'm really into it.
Yeah,
Tamar
we're gonna
looks-
practice with Avros. If Avros gets impaled, then we can do Tamar because
If
Tamar
Avros
has a
gets
relationship with
impaled! Okay.
us. Can I
How's
ask
it
you a
feel being
question?
guinea pig?
Ask me as many
As a
questions as you
monk,
like. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Have you ever seen Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah, I have!
whilst a degree of strength is needed to toss people into the air, it is also a feat and skill of using one's own momentum to their benefit. So, if I am to quote the terrible Mulan movie, something about 4 stones can redirect 1,000 stones, ripping off Avatar, redirect lightning, Zuko power, energy. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, can I do an acrobatics check instead? I'm doing a lot of work.
Yes, you can.
Yay! That makes a lot of difference.
Go for it. Acrobatics check, go.
19.
19!
And
Okay.
Jade will... Here's what Jade's going to do. He is going to go to Avros.
Yes,
And he's
hello,
going
Jade.
to say, Avros,
Yes.
do you remember all the training we've done?
Oh,
Everything
no.
we've done until this point?
Yes, I do remember. Why? What have you got in
The time
mind,
is now.
Jade? What do you mean the time is now? Okay, I didn't practice, but I'll do a push-up. Alright, look, I've been working my forward. He gets down and he does a push-up in front of you. It looks pathetic.
Do you remember? That is pathetic. Do you remember
Yes.
when we got up early that one time?
Oh, don't
and I
remind
taught
me.
you how to fall off a horse?
Vaguely. I think I hit my head too hard.
Okay. This is going to be precisely the same situation. What you're going to do is you're going to run up to me. I am going to throw you, and you are going to land exactly how I taught you then.
Do I have to run or can I just
You must run. Do it now.
jog at a brisk pace? Okay.
10 steps back. Go.
Alright. And he's going to roll his own athletics check to see if he has enough.
Can you do it with advantage because I'm helping him? Because otherwise,
Yeah,
what
okay, okay.
acrobatics for?
Alright. Yeah. He'll do it with advantage. Just to see if he can run up fast. Alright, he's going to need the advantage. Oh, okay, pretty good. He runs up effectively. He runs up faster than you expect him to. He looked a little bit more tired and out of it than he first seemed.
Okay.
But with his nice run, you get ready to chuck him over. And how does it look? It is, I will say, successful, first of all. So
Okay.
I'll let you take the reins and describe it in your majestic fashion. Jade, go for it.
So, here's what Jade does. Do you know a springboard, like in gymnastics? So Avros is running like, huh, 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 and when his foot goes up, Jade catches his foot underneath his own foot with the momentum and uses it to like lift him up onto like knee height, and then he just whoosh, magic push boom
Oh, this feels wonderful.
like a springboard.
Wah! And he lands badly.
Sweet.
But he makes it over. He lands like a long jumper would in like a sand pit. And he hits his bum. Oh! And he lands on the other side successfully. I was gonna say unbruised, but his butt is a
Not
little bit
graceful,
bruised.
but not bruised.
Not graceful, not bruised. Sure, we'll put it that way. Not impaled by
That
the
sounds
trap before you. So he has successfully made it across. In fact, I should probably be using the map for this because this is effectively an encounter. You're encountering the world before you. So Avros, he is chilling on the other side. Verdridi, I'm guessing that you're flying over.
I am a cat and I'm flying.
Alright, that's a good quote. I want that in the shirt. So you make it over effectively with ease. You are fluttering over it with absolute grace and precision. You land on the other side gently.
How tall is this fence?
It's about a person high.
Okay, so like 5-6 feet.
What kind of person? Like a core person or a Tamar person?
That's a very
Yeah.
big difference.
Closer to maybe a core, although it is bigger than your core. So now we've only got
Split the
Tamar,
difference, call
Core,
it
and
5.5
Jade.
feet.
Say again.
Don't worry.
Well,
That's
Jade?
what I like.
would you like to attempt
Yes.
to throw Core over as well?
Okay, before I throw core, I'm gonna turn to him. I'm gonna say, "So Tamar, I can
Yes.
try it. Is there anything you want to do to assist me?"
How could I assist you?
I was talking to Jade. No, I'm Jade. I was talking to Core,
Oh,
who is not me, but who could look like me if they wanted to. But that was
Okay.
neither here
sorry,
nor there.
I misheard you.
Okay.
What do you
I was talking to Jade. All right, I'll leave you to yourself.
Is there anything you can do to assist me, or anything you want to do to assist me? Just because I understand that Tamara's your responsibility as well as mine, and
Oh, you want me to help Tamar? Boring.
he does need all the help he can get. So you know.
Sure. There is nothing I can do that does not involve me burning up magic. If he looks like he's going to die, I suppose I could do something. But I
Okay,
think
this
he
seems
can
good
do
enough
this.
for me. Tamar, you're going to do exactly what Avros did, except you're going to run much faster. From much further away.
Okay.
Understood.
I will give
Okay.
my best shot.
Okay, just go this maybe 20 steps back.
23.
Maybe 23, yeah.
He walks back 20 feet. He goes very far back. He goes like almost 30 feet away. Core, I'm gonna say that you probably step out of the way so that you don't get damaged. And you're all a little bit closer to this fence. You're getting ready to just chuck him over, Jade. All right.
Okay.
So, it's time to shine. Tamar is getting ready. He's getting ready to run up.
Is
And
this
he's-
going to be another...
He's gonna roll an athletics check.
Can I roll an acrobatics to assist or something along those lines?
I'll let you keep yours from earlier if you're
Okay.
doing the same thing. If you want to keep your roll, but I will let you roll again if you want to repose. If you want, up to you.
No, it's okay. I think we can do this.
All right, Tamar's gonna roll. Oh, classic Tamar. Yeah, okay, that's not great, as expected, but he's big, which makes it worse. He starts running.
Avros, prepare a healing spell. Jade calls out very quickly.
Got it. And he goes. "Whoa." Tamar looks like he's running. He looks like he's running faster than Avros. Like he's more dramatic. More dust is get. Rocks are flying to the sides as his big feet just. He's like an ox ready to break down a red target, and
He's just gonna run straight through it.
No,
Just a Tamar
Jade
size
will
hole
not
in
let
it.
this happen. Okay.
so he's
Jade
running right at you.
sees- Okay, I think Jade can see this going poorly. I have something which allows me to catch a missile as it approaches me. Is there any way that I could use this on Tamar and attempt to then do what the other feature is if I do really well and throw it back? As in,
You know what? Yeah, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna say that you couldn't necessarily catch Tamar and stop him from running,
Right.
but you could definitely use that power to help direct him up
Yeah.
and over the barricade if you'd like to do so.
Okay. 18.
18, pretty good. All right, so how does it look? This monster, there's a huge bulging. Well, actually, you're big as well. So this regular man is running at you.
Regular dude. No?
I've been used to describing describing Tamar for Core. This huge, bulking mass of a man, and I was like, Jade,
Core's
Tamar
this
for
man.
Jade and Core now.
True.
They're in this
Wow.
together.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think what it looks like is this. So, not Tamar. Jade will kind of like brace, and then I think him and Core have a moment of eye contact where they're both like, "Oh no, 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 no."
Core, I think from your perspective,
Yeah.
you're about to witness an immovable object and an unstoppable force connect and collide. A rock and a hard place making contact.
Yep.
I have
Two.
a spell that can help, but I don't want to waste it if there's anything that Jade
Sure.
can do.
Sure. Jade is going to then brace and put one hand like down where like the knee / like knee in between knee and hip would be, and one like this under where the armpit would be. And the moment Tamar like rushes up, he's going to like whirl and like flip him like through the air like some just like something just flying through.
I get you. Okay. In that case, I would also like for you to roll a dexterity check as you do this, as you're deciding to do this while he's running.
Ooh, dexterity check. Okay, 15.
15? Pretty good. Alright.
Yeah. Okay.
You manage to catch the force that is Tamar, and it's not completely painless. You will take a tiny bit of bludgeoning damage from this, 1d4,
Okay.
as he
That's
collides with you initially as you attempt to rocket him over. And as you just barely manage to get your crazy, fantastical, and graceful maneuver out of the way, you essentially launch this boulder of a man up and over this barricade. Tamar then lands like a catapult shooting like a cannonball or something, just on the other side. You see a dust cloud emerge as he lands and drags
wow.
on the floor. For Dewey, he lands right next to you. He's also going to take a little bit of damage. He's also going to take a d6 of bludgeoning damage. from the fall because he's just landing like like a cannonball essentially. But he's doing okay. He's doing okay. Tamar is big boy. He can handle it. Avarice is actually still not completely recovered from his bookshelf.
Can I just check that I got 4 points of damage?
4 points of damage. Okay.
Okay.
I say I just roll a d4.
Oh, you want me to roll it? I'm sorry.
I want you to roll it because I want you to be.
2 points of damage.
Okay, there you go.
It's not.
I wonder if you'll ever figure out what the d4 does.
Looks at Aelin with
That's
gleaming
amazing.
eyes.
Maybe you don't. Maybe it'll remain a mystery forever. But you managed to launch this man up and over the barrier. He lands right next to you, Verdridi. Hi, Verdridi. He says from the dust. And he looks to Avarice as well.
Drudy, like, seeing him, like heading that way, Drudy's up in the air, just like, nope, not gonna fall on me.
As you
I am a little cat.
As you dodge this behemoth land right next to you, Avarice will actually attempt to cast a Cure Wounds spell on Tamar as he sees that he's wounded a little bit. And he looks over to you, Jade and Core, over the other side of the barrier. Boop. And Tamar is looking... Let's have a look. How's he looking? He's looking perfect! He's never looked better. Healed. He looks better than Avarice, who still hasn't recovered. But, Core and Jade, it's just the two of you now chilling on the other side of this pointy barricade. It's the two of you
I
left.
mean, I think Jade can yeet Core. Core weighs
Oh, yeah.
like
Very easily.
We've
very
done this
little.
before, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I'm gonna say that
And
you were...
and you know what? It's artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I
This
have
is-
a performance if we're like gonna make
Oh,
this
yeah.
a whole
Oh yeah, performance check, easily. With advantage, go for it. This is a practice
Oh my gosh,
routine.
new headcanon. To make money on the road, Jade and Core were like a performing acrobat
Oh,
duo.
that's cool.
And like,
23.
23? Ooh, okay. I would like to imagine that also, like, Tamara's just pulling the cart, like, come see the show. Handing out, like, little business cards, like, hello.
He's essential.
Alright.
essential.
So, with your performance check, how's it looking? I will let you describe it. It's graceful, it's beautiful. Jade, you managed to launch Core over, and in the same flurry of movement, the graceful sort of shenanigans.
Board movement, I think.
Ooh.
Like just spring
Yeah.
in the air.
So, Core, you kind of back up and boing, landing on the other side. Over the others,
He's
you land very
superhero
far.
lands, and then he's like, that's how it's done, boys.
You land gracefully. Tamara, looking up from the dirt, looks at you in awe.
Jade will follow.
Jade, you
Very simple. Just running leap.
running
lands.
leap.
Like he never, like barely hits the ground.
You land on the other side gracefully. With cat-like reflexes, you land on the other side. Tamara looks at you in awe also. And you make it over. And you just about get ready to head down to the south to your next location. Which in this case is where you saw the abandoned building. Or abandoned question mark building. So as you walk, you eventually reach a sort of area. A sort of clearing that wasn't quite initially very, very visible. And now that you get closer, you see that there's a sort of a lake within this small sort of clearing as you pass through. After a little bit of time has passed, as you walk through the forest, there isn't a whole lot that goes on. You've already rolled for the things that I wanted you to roll for, and there isn't anything crazy that you guys discover on your trip here. And you eventually reach a point where the trees part, and you are in this sort of a clear area where you now see the building before you very clearly. It's a big building. A lot bigger than it looked from the aerial view that Rodrigo got earlier, but now that you're up close, you can get kind of a better inspection of what's going on here. Immediately before you, as you reach the sort of entrance into this clearing, you immediately see that the river that kind of goes through this area kind of turns and forms into a sort of a lake almost, surrounding with very shallow water, which you can just kind of walk through as difficult terrain. This entire sort of building structure around here. It's essentially kind of encircled by water. You've got this sort of river turning into a lake almost around this sort of section before it kind of reaches the trees at the very edge, where the forest becomes more dense towards the direction that you originally came from, and then completely disperses into just what looks like sea, like artificial ocean into the distance, going out from here further into the direction that you were heading, basically further away from the initial point from which you came. Immediately before you, you see a sort of a rock structure before a bridge. And then over the bridge, you reach essentially what is the small island, effectively, where this building resides. You don't see any sort of livelihood around here. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of creatures either. Like where you were before, there would have been a lot of wildlife. Or not a whole lot, a little bit of wildlife with those pig-like creatures in the distance and the butterflies and stuff. It seems like more around here, you don't really see any sort of liveliness of any sort. But the building is before you. How would you like to proceed?
With caution.
With caution.
With
Perception
annoyance.
checks
With-
and maybe stealthy.
Stealthy? If you would like to, you could roll some stealth checks for me if you are attempting to remain undercover. As you either... I mean, you have a few options if you want to approach this sort of building from where you're currently situated. Your options are as follows. You've got this bridge in front of you to walk over if you'd like to remain on very movable, easy to traverse terrain. Or you've got any sort of part of this river that you can kind of wade through if you don't mind using up a lot of your movement and being maybe a little bit more subject to attacks should anything pop up. But it seems like everything is okay for the time being. It's very peaceful and serene here in broad daylight.
I don't like
Sorry, so
everything seems okay. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it is okay.
Yeah.
It
So
seems...
can I
Yeah.
just confirm?
Okay. Yes.
We have the river.
Yep.
What other pathways?
You've got the river or the bridge, basically, to get closer.
Both of these seem like
Bad
traps of
options.
sorts.
I
Bad.
really wish she hadn't wandered off. In fact, I'm probably going to message her in a bit and be like, why did you wander off?
Mm.
Why didn't you just sit down and do nothing?
Mm.
How
Why
many-
does everyone find this concept so hard to understand?
How many
Do not-
sendings can Core send before a long rest, out of curiosity?
2.
2? Oof. Okay, that's bodes well. This will be fine.
He can sit down and get one of the slots back.
Oh yeah, true.
In fact, guys, if we're going to go into a trap, he sits down. Give me a moment. He starts doing a recovery.
Ooh, okay. How long does that take?
10 minutes, I think.
10 minutes. Alright, so, Core, you
Oh.
sit down, you take in your serene surroundings as you observe the random boulder surrounded by smaller rocks before this sort of bridge. Taking all of it in, looking around. The rest of you, how are you doing? Core is chilling at the moment, and you guys are all here looking at this building, now maybe 60 to 80 feet away from you across the other side of this bridge / river, looking around. What would you like to do?
I think. You know what? There's time. I think Jade, even though he said he was going to keep that thing for 24 hours, this seems like the sort of situation where something could go wrong. Doesn't want it to end up in the wrong hands. Jade is going to go and destroy the snakehead if it's 10 minutes.
Ooh, okay, how are you destroying it?
Jade is going to crush it into a fine powder with his fists.
Ooh, shit. Okay, damn. All right. Okay, so this is. Are you crushing the jar as well? Or are you keeping the jar?
I'll keep the jar.
All right, you keep the jar. You take the head out, and you begin to pulverize the sort of partially charred remains of what looks to be like one of Medusa's tendrils, the snake head. As you do this and you grind it up into a powder, is there any way you're getting rid of this, or are you just letting it kind of fall to the floor?
Letting it kind of like. I think he's going to like dig a small hole with his heel and just kind of mix it in with the dirt.
Alright. As you kind of dig the little small hole and you start to put it in, you do hear a sort of weird sound from someplace as you dig the hole.
Okay.
As you make that sort of motion, you hear a sort of from...
I look around.
Roll for me a perception check if you're looking.
Okay.
It's a very sort of faint sound.
13.
13. As you look around, you don't quite see anywhere that it could have come from. The sound was kind of unexpected, and it seems like the others didn't hear it. So you can't quite pinpoint where exactly it came from.
Can I just go on a limb and be like, hello?
You can go hello. Also, Brigitte, what did you want to say?
Hello. Oh, sorry. Obviously, Jade is saying this very loudly. Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Jade. Hello.
Jamar.
Drudy did want to do a perception check when we got into this area. Just
Oh wait, are you in Tressum form?
yeah.
Ooh. Okay, roll for me. Actually, you know what? Everybody roll for me a perception. Or what's everybody's passive perception right now?
Passive.
Everybody except Jade, because Jade heard it.
So
12.
12? Okay, you would not have heard it. And for Judy?
23.
23! You will have heard it. You hear the... And to you, it sounds like that sound did come from the direction of the building, although there's a bit of a weird sort of quality to it, like it's being muffled by terrain. In the same way that maybe if you were stuck inside a cave or something like that and you were making a sound through the wall, this is what it would sound like. You would hear it on like the other side of the terrain. So it kind of sounds like it's being muffled by more than just the walls of the building. Hello, Jade.
Okay.
Is everything okay? Tamara looks at you with concern. Jade.
I think, is Emma frozen?
Yeah.
Emma frozen? No, I thought Emma was deep in thought. I thought Emma was pondering thoughts. Well.
I'll take this time to ring my little bell.
Oh.
I didn't pick up.
Bell?
Yeah, it didn't ring through. Yeah, no, oh, there it came through.
There you go.
That's interesting that it, like, mutes the
Really
bell.
loud.
It, like, I can only hear it when you talk, pretty much. Or just then I heard it, yeah. Diddly,
Does that not
diddly,
pick up?
diddly. It picks up sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes.
It's really loud.
Nah, I'm not picking it up. That's weird. Can you, if you can see, like, your own camera if it lights up or not.
Not on the iPad. I can't tell.
Oh, you can't on the iPad. Damn,
Oh.
okay. Maybe the iPad is like
But
noise
it's bad.
cancelling. Hello, Emma. Ah. Emma. Oh. Oh.
Emma?
Oh.
my character no, my character died. My computer died. I'm sorry.
I have
Okay,
bad news
go
for you. Your
through.
character
Next
died.
time you're away.
Is it okay? Is everything alright?
It's okay.
Yeah. Alright, you didn't miss anything because we paused, but essentially once you went,
Okay.
hello? Rodridi's passive perception in Tresem form is loud or precise enough that Rodridi knows that it is coming from the vague direction of the building, although it seems like it's a bit more muffled than it would be if it was just being muffled by the walls of the building, which seems to indicate that maybe it's not, maybe there's something weird to it. Like it's being obstructed by more terrain than just the building itself. And as you say hello, Tamara looks at you and says, hello, is everything okay?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for checking in.
Okay.
I just heard a voice.
Oh, that was me saying hello. That was just me, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was referring to a very different... Anyone else hear that?
I didn't say anything.
Courteous little paw points. Like a pointer dog.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, Rodridi, did you hear something? What did you hear?
The cat just stares at Tamar.
He looks at you, not
God.
realizing. Avros stares at Tamar like,
Did he hit his head like even harder when he landed? I mean,
Wait.
Don't laugh at him, Avros. Only
no, I'm
Cora is
laughing
allowed
at
to
him.
laugh at him.
It's funny.
Oh. That's fine.
It's okay. Rodridi,
Double standard.
if you're too shy to do an impression, I understand. I too feel that way sometimes.
Oh yeah, cat charades.
And he looks at you. So, Cora, Jade, what should we do?
Go in and investigate once we find a good way in.
I knew you were going to say that. I am really not keen. If it wasn't my mother, I would say it's over. We should just leave them. But
It's all good.
yeah, it's over.
Hmm.
It will be over when I'm through with her. But we need to get her back first.
May she rest in peace when that happens.
Yeah.
Let's go find her in that case. Is she in this
Fortunately,
building?
I need her.
She has information
Yes.
for
She does.
all of us that might be necessary as well. Regarding your parents' core and anything that might be able to help us as well, going from here. But, if,
Yes, that too. Alright, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Core, do you lead the charge?
I will walk in tandem with Jade.
Alright, you walk in tandem with Jade. Let me rearrange it so that you and Jade are at the front of the pack, followed closely by the rest of the marching band. as you walk over the bridge. It is a very nice scene. As you look over the railing, you can see the water. It looks like, if you squint, it almost looks like the water itself could be some sort of like a deep sort of ocean, but it's very, very shallow. But you walk over, you don't get yourselves wet at all, and you make it over to the other side, and you are looking a little bit closer now at this building. A few things that you can notice from here is that it does not seem immediately apparent that there is an entrance on this side, until you see in front of you there's a bit of a hallway sort of a cutout where there's a door leading in, which is currently closed. To your right, there is also some sort of a very small 5-foot by 10-foot structure. Hard to see what kind of structure it is. This is maybe not something that you might have seen before, but all of you roll for me an intelligence check as you look at this small structure here. Let's see if this is something that would have been in your arsenal of things that you would have come across.
Natural 20!
Natural 20, Core, you recognize it.
18.
Oh my god, okay.
23.
Pretty much.
No, plus 7. Wait, no, it's not 7. Plus 3. 23. 23.
Damn, okay. Pretty much all of you immediately recognize what this is. Very, very fast. It's an outhouse.
Cool.
So, you got a few options. You've got basically the perimeter of the building you can decide to check out if you'd like to. It's a bit watery on some sides, but there's enough land that you can kind of safely move around on most edges without having to traverse difficult terrain. You've got the outhouse that you could inspect if you'd like to, or you've got this entrance into this building, which is very hard to completely inspect from the outside. It is a bit of a weird shape with protrusions here and there, but it looks like some sort of old stone-like fort or structure with not much livelihood going on right now. Doesn't seem like it's been used or maybe inhabited in a while, from the outside looking in at least.
I would like to send my familiar inside.
Alright, so you get your familiar. Boom, bam. Alright, you've got a door to open. Now, would you like to open this as your familiar, or would you like to open it as you as Core?
My familiar is a snake, so is there any, like, gaps that I can get in?
Yeah, you could slither underneath the door if you'd like. If you're a snake, you could just kind of just slide underneath. And you have enough time, I think, to basically kind of inspect this entire area, and you see that it is, in fact, inhabited. Hard to say by who exactly, but as you walk through, you wander through, you see a whole bunch of different rooms. To your immediate left, as you enter, there is a door. Now, as you enter, first of all, you notice that when you walk through this door that was here, when you slither underneath, when you don't walk through it, you slither, there is a sort of courtyard before you. You've essentially got this big square sort of shape, this like area, and you've got a path kind of around this perimeter. In the middle, you've got a tree, there's a well, you've got some little farm outcroppings here and there. Looks like somebody's growing vegetables. You see cabbages, you see strawberries, you see what look like the heads of carrots and things like that, and other herbs and leaves and that sort of thing. And it looks like there's even sections that have been recently pillaged by whoever might be living here, maybe. As you sort of look around, there are doors on all sides here. So if you're going through them one by one, here's kind of what you see without inspecting the actual rooms too much, but just peering in. As you slither underneath the first door, I'm going to say that you could probably slither underneath every single one of these. It doesn't seem like there's any very, very locked doors like that. It's not super secure. You see a room that looks like it's filled with sort of knickknacks. You've got like sort of personal items. It looks very dusty, like it hasn't been used in a little while. But you see things like empty scrolls. You see some wells of ink. Is that the right word? Wells of ink? The little jars.
Yeah.
You see shelves filled with sort of random books of fiction, it seems like from your first glance as a snake. You don't really see anything too interesting on the shelves itself, so it seems like somebody's like living here recreationally. Hard to say exactly who. There's nobody here in this room right now, but this is sort of like a personal, maybe office/study room is what you get from a first glance. The next room over, going around in a clockwise direction, you've got what looks like a kitchen, which is currently filled to the brim with a fresh soup that's been brewed. You've got a lot of carrots. You've got some bread that has yet to be chopped. You've got utensils on the counter. You've got like knives and that sort of stuff. You've got a few boxes that smell like they're filled with herbs or spices or something like that. A few mushrooms even as well. Just a whole lot of food. So it's a feast to be had. If there's rations that you're in need of, this is a very good place to get them. Continuing on, as you slither on throughout this sort of domain, there's another door that is kind of in the corner of this sort of section, on the top right corner of this main square, which leads down. You've got like a sort of stairwell that leads down into a basement of some sort. which I'm gonna say that you don't slither into just yet, but that's what you see there. Or, I mean, if you'd like to inspect it, we can go through that as well. But it leads down into the ground. And as you do inspect this area, you hear more of a shuffling or a scuffling sort of sound, like there's something down there. Kind of a...
I'll investigate that probably if I hear something moving.
Alright, so without checking any of the other rooms out then, you head down. Down. Really far. You go down the staircase, and it seems like you descend quite a bit into the depths. And what you kind of come into is a room with coffins as you go all the way down. Some candles are lit down here.
Cool.
It's a small room. It's about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25 by 35 feet. It's not very big. But around this sort of area, what you immediately see is that there's these 4 coffins, and one of the coffins is kind of moved. There's not much in this room. You've just got this sort of altar, which seems like there was something hanging at the altar at one point, but is now gone. Candle is lit there, which seems to indicate that somebody was here recently. But outside of just those 4 coffins, one of them in the corner, you notice very quickly, is moved, like kind of scooted around a little bit, like it was moved at some point to get to something behind it. And with your snake-like sort of investigative skills, you can very easily kind of slither around the edge of the coffin to see that there is a sort of path, an unnatural one, dug out into the wall that looks like maybe it was an animal or something like that that dug it out. Or even a person, maybe it's hard to tell really. That sort of dug out a tunnel, which kind of leads into the earth, into the depths of this sort of area, which you can keep inspecting if you'd like to.
Can I ask, can I scent check at all for Alaria? Like, because I know that snakes, like, lick the air to scent check. Can I roll something to see if I can do that?
You can roll for me a straight perception if you'd like to.
Okay.
And we'll roll that as like a, we'll emphasize the scent
But
on that.
what if the perception check doesn't identify as straight?
True.
That was a joke.
Roll for me a very gay perception
A
check.
very gay perception check. That means I get
Yay.
advantage because the gays are better.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the snake stats up.
Go for it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Meanwhile, while Core is checking this out, what is the rest of everybody doing?
I suppose Jade is doing what Emma is doing and is sketching the house,
Alright, so you are sketching the house.
which looks like this.
Oh, what? That's cool. Wait, hold on. Let me just,
Wait, this was my previous page of notes. Oh wait, this is my previous page of notes.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh, the sketches. Oh my god. Can you show me the house again?
Oh yeah,
I
I
want
was going to show you Comrade.
to comrade. That is cool. Look at that.
Yeah. Wait, can we see the other page again?
This is the
That's
other
what-
page.
What else have you done on there? Wait.
I see a
Flower.
lily.
Cats. Hehe. Comrade.
Ha!
Falling.
Aww.
And then
Aw.
general notes.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a 15 for perception.
15
I
for
just ended up using
perception.
mine because I couldn't find a snake.
Alright, so that's all good. So 15 for perception. Let me switch back to the map. So you are inspecting. You are trying to smell for Alaria. And you lick the air. Now you're familiar with Alaria's smell. You know kind of how she smells. With your 15. Down here, it smells very musky. Smells like corpse. Very overpowered by the stench of this sort of area here. Especially in your snake form. But you don't get any sort of whiff of anything that smells like Alaria necessarily. Now, you know she isn't a very stinky individual, but at the same time, you don't get any sort of indication that there's any sort of smell of hers emanating from anything around this part of the underground.
Mhm.
But you do have this sort of tunnel leading ahead of you. It doesn't seem like this. I mean, you do smell something. There, it does smell like there's a creature here, I should say. It does smell like there's life down here.
Okay, I'll go investigate it, but
What did you say? Would you say you rolled a 15? It does kind of, sort of feel familiar, but not in an, oh, it might be a Alaria sort of way, but more like a, I feel like I've smelled something like this before sort of way. But you're inspecting?
yeah,
Alright.
it's just a snake.
As you wander through, you eventually reach the main sort of dugout area under here. You reach sort of a fork in the road, but then to your immediate right, as you kind of wander through here, you do very quickly see a big sort of enclave, like a big sort of cavern underneath this sort of where the main courtyard would have been, you see a little pool of water, which you can probably ascertain is maybe connected to some of the outside water that's nearby or whatever, but you see a big sort of like pool of water here, and you see a bucket, like a wooden bucket, that looks like it's been damaged from maybe a fall or something like that. And there's a light source as well coming from above. You see above you is a small like pinhole of light kind of shining down upon you, which you can pretty quickly ascertain is coming from the well. There are a few other branching paths here, but there is something that you notice in the ground. You do notice sort of paw prints on the ground around this sort of area, especially near the water, which looks like there's been something to be drinking maybe from the water down here, some sort of animal. If you'd like to roll for me either a animal handling check or a survival check or nature check or something like that, to see if you know, if you can recognize what might have made these sort of tracks.
Just opening. Oh, for some reason on here I can't go all the way down. Sorry, what were the options? Animal handling or survival?
Well, yeah, even or nature. I'll accept any of those. Or even investigation.
Investigation, please, because I have +7.
Go for it. You are investigating. Go for it.
Okay. 17.
17, pretty good roll. They seem familiar in that, like, you probably, with an investigation, there's kind of a, you think you might recognize these kind of, the shapes of these kind of footprints. Or if you can even call them footprints, these paw prints. But they look very, like, wyvern, dragon-like, kind of. That's what they remind you of. And at that point, you do hear another sort of, this time more clearly, you hear a sort of,
Oh.
which sounds like kind of an, well, it's hard to exactly say what that might be. But you do hear a sort of a snarling, animal-like
Right.
sound coming from
Who's
within the
gonna
cavern.
seduce the dragon? We don't have Baron, so...
Core's the only biddy there.
Tamara looks at you and the rest of the group. Avros looks around.
Corey's saying this out loud, by the way, as he's just like, some's got to seduce the dragon.
Wait, hold
I
on.
see.
Cor, I have multiple
Jade looks at
questions.
Avros, yeah.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant. Listen, Cor, I have questions,
Bold
first
of you
of all.
to take one for the team. Thank you, Avros.
Wait, no, Jade, I have not yet agreed to anything. I just wanted to ask, Cor,
Okay, nothing.
why on earth are we... So, why is the topic of snakes even coming up here? Are you saying there's a snake underneath the fort? Is this
They
fort...
said dragon, not snake, you dumbass.
Oh. There's a dragon that's even worse! What?
Well, we'd never
Also,
ask you
Jade,
to
bold
snake.
of you. I imagine that Core's completely blind as he's speaking. Jade, really bold of you to say that Avros has a better chance of seducing the dragon than me. I'm low-key a little bit offended. But
Yeah, of course!
Oh wait, no. Core was Jade's first suggestion, and then
Ooh.
I thought Core said something about not being the only one. But if that's not the case, then Jade definitely was like,
Well, Cor, I
Cor?
think maybe you should be the one to go down.
in your
I can...
snake form.
in my snake form, it's like this big, Jade. Where are you? Grab me.
I pick him up.
Core's just like that.
Tamara looks at the
He's
two
like
of you.
limp.
If you're going down, I want to come down to make sure you're safe as well.
I really don't think you should come down because there's a wyvern down here.
What if something attacks the outside of the building? We'll need a guard.
I understand. I will make sure that it's guarded out here.
Okay.
I don't smell Ilaria anywhere, just saying.
Can I check for footprints and sort of signs of people here?
Sure.
If there's any footprints that match Laria, for would be a survival.
Yeah, survival check to see if there are any footprints that seem to match Alaria's out here.
17, 14 on the dice.
17
Can I assist to give Jade advantage?
Yeah, sure. You can help Jade look if you'd like to, like, maybe
Thank
peruse
you.
the same perimeter. I'll let you roll with advantage. Jade, go for it.
17 still, but
Okay. But even with that, you're both looking around. You do
2 eyes is better than 1.
You do eventually find some sort of footprints, kind of
4 eyes is better than 1.
off to the side that kind of trek out from the general area of where this building sort of is to the sea itself. They just kind of stop after they hit the water, but they don't look like Alaria's footprints. They look a lot wider and a lot shorter as well.
Okay.
These would be the footprints of maybe a sort of more short creature with a more stout stature, possibly. Less so like Alaria, who has these long, elegant, thin footprints.
Okay. I will explain this to the group.
I see.
I could just message her again and ask her to describe her surroundings. I don't know why she didn't do that in the first place. Bit dumb.
Well, Cora, what would you like to do?
Core has zero respect for his elders.
Yup. This is fine.
So you're going down to... Well, Ivros looks at you at this point. So, what's the plan with this dragon? There's a dragon down there? I've never seen a dragon in person before.
Oh, you probably don't want to.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. I don't want to. Thank you, Cor. Yes. If you go down there, I assure you that I will keep an eye on the fort at hand on the outside.
This is why I broke up with you. Okay, I'm gonna message Ilaria again because I actually really need to know where she is. Drudy the cat, yes.
Drudy just kind of like taps her nose and
You want to sniff? Do a sniff.
and like kind of puts in the like traces in the ground like an A and then like an X over it, like not like Ilaria's not here.
Okay, let's leave.
Mm-hmm. Seems safe.
Alright, so you want to leave. You have
Yeah.
the direction you came basically, or you can kind of rotate around into any direction. So your essential directions right now, if you don't want to walk into the ocean, you can walk directly north, or you can walk back in the direction you came from, or you can walk kind of to the southwest.
Can
I
we
bust
attempt it?
another sending? Maybe.
It's okay.
Go, Aelin.
I was gonna say before like Core wastes and like uses another spell slot, could Drudy attempt to pick up the scent like in the air
Okay,
to try and like get a direction on where Ilaria might be?
go for it. Roll for me a perception check.
It's the exact same thing on both dice.
Oh my god.
Oh, good.
Which is a 24.
Ooh,
I
okay.
got a 16s today.
Alright, so as you sniff the air, attempting to get a trace of Ilaria's scent, you give this place a smell. And you smell a whole lot of things. This place is very filled with food, which is one thing that you immediately notice. That's something in the back of your mind. If you're ever coming back for any sort of food or ingredients, this is a good location to get those, should you need to.
Okay.
Outside of that, smelling around, you do smell some sort of smell that seems to match a sort of wyverny, dragony smell. Although you have smelled a wyvern before, and this smells very different in a sort of way. A little bit more, you know, flamey. A little bit more charcoaled. Something that maybe breathes a little bit more fire. Gives off this sort of smell. Is what you can probably ascertain from that check. But on top of that, you do not smell anything that even remotely resembles Arya's smell, which is one that you are very familiar with, having sat with her in that tree. Not only that, in this area where you are now, having trekked down to this place, not only is nothing in this sort of direct area smelling like Ilaria, but in this general sort of a whole area, it doesn't seem like there's any sort of wind or anything like that that's carrying her scent, which could indicate one of many things. Either that she's just never been here specifically before, or that she's not even close to this area. But at the very least, you don't get any sort of strong scent. Now, it could be that she just hasn't traveled around much, and with your indication that she might be indoors, it might also just be hard to get a track on her scent, but you do not smell her pretty much at all around here. Also, the outhouse smells just a little bit funky, and that's about as much as you get.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Ilaria?
No Lara.
Cool. I'd like to burn another sending.
Go for it.
Where the hell are you? And Core looks borderline furious.
Ugh. Okay, so you send that sending.
Jade will
and it
give him a
reaches.
back massage while he does the sending.
I'm in a small house, surrounded by some trees with legs. The house, not the trees.
Drady, can you see any houses with legs?
She flies up again and like does like a circle like over the island.
Alright, so you do kind of a small circle without actually like spending a crazy amount of time flying around the entire island. You do manage to kind of regain some idea of your surroundings. But there doesn't seem to be immediately...
Do I pick up on Ilaria's scent anywhere?
By flying around up that high, there isn't any scent that you can pick up on very clearly. You'd have to probably be a little bit closer to the ground if you were looking around, if there's a certain place you want to investigate, but that would require actually traveling there. From just a sort of scope of the island, the places where you see there are sort of buildings, you do see something, there's some sort of movement underneath some canopies and some treetops, it seems like, in one area. Still don't know what that is. There aren't any buildings in a lot of the other places on this island, but there is the one other place where there was an electric lightning blast of some sort, where a building appeared. Doesn't look like a building with legs though from this distance, but it's hard to exactly see from an aerial view.
Could I have investigated the movement in under the trees?
Sure. If you want to fly over, it'll take you a fair little while, but you could do this within like the span of an hour while the group, I guess,
Massages each other.
massages each other. Takes a short rest while Vridridi investigates. If you'd like to do that, although Vridridi will be missing out on the short rest. So, Vridridi, you go.
I think it's more important to try attempt to find Ilaria. So
Okay, so you go fly, and as you get closer to the sort of movement, you see these like sort of, as you get closer, basically to this point, I'm going to switch back to my camera view because you were flying around. As you look around, in the general sort of area where you saw movement, like these sort of trees rustling and that sort of thing, as if there's something big and massive moving around, you do notice very quickly that there is some sort of structure in this sort of area where it looks like it was initially very forested. There is a small hut that you see in the forest. And as you get closer, you do notice something peculiar about this hut, and it's that it's moving.
legs.
It has legs.
Yep.
It is
Cool.
moving slowly. It looks like a small hut on legs, just kind of trekking through the forest at a brisk sort of pace, which seems to indicate that it's just changing in location as it moves around, and might be hard to keep tabs on. But you do stumble upon this.
and it has Ilaria's scent.
Well, roll for me a perception check when you're here in this square.
Cora's
Okay.
starting to fizz like an angry like bath bomb.
Does he look a bit like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
Baby.
I'm really going for it today.
yeah.
Angry baby.
19.
19. You get closer, but I'm guessing that you're trying to stay kind of far enough away that nothing will notice you.
Yep.
As you get kind of closer and closer, you sniff around, and it's hard to get a scent. You smell a whole lot of things. You smell an overpowering smell of like herbs, potions, kind of emanating from this sort of building, and a sort of feral, sort of wild smell
Baba
as well.
Yaga. It's Baba
Yeah.
Bloody Yaga.
Yeah.
You do smell sort of
Hot-
Baba Yaga smell. This looks
Say
like
hot
Baba
on
Yaga.
legs. It's Baba Yaga.
Hot on legs. Basically, exactly that. I can actually hold on. Hold on. Let me. I can open up a map visually for you as you're close and inspecting this house, which is a chimney kind of emanating from it as well. You're essentially getting the fumes from the chimney. But yes, indeed, this hut on legs that is moving around does seem to emanate a faint smell of Ilaria. Ode to Ilaria is emanating from this building very faintly, which seems to indicate that maybe she's in there. That's the smell that you get.
Okay, Trudy gets that smell and then just zooms back to the group.
You zoom and you noom
Yeah.
all the way back to the rest of the group. Everybody at this point, I would say that like the search itself and all that sort of stuff, while it was very brief in my description, would have taken about an hour for you to just kind of travel across and ghibli your way over. But you come back, everybody else is well rested. I'm going to give to my...
I get my thing back, so I'm gonna take away that sending.
Yeah, short rests. Short rests for everybody. Avros is actually finally going to regain some. Let's have a look. Short rest, confirm. And he is doing a little bit better. Avros looks like he's very close to being back to full, but not quite. But he's doing a little bit better.
He's fine.
Vridridi, I was about to say Ilaria. Vridridi, you come back to the group and you relay this information to everybody. Tamar looks shocked but pleased that you found her. And he looks to Core immediately first.
She draws like a little A and then in the ground with her paw and just circles it.
Thomas,
Yes.
as Core is quite well read,
Mhm.
can I roll like a history or like a general intelligence check about Baba Yaga?
You can roll for me a history check specifically if you'd like.
Okay.
I'm really sorry, I messed up the jade, so I did low-key ruin that core. But I tried. A small
Oh,
I see
massage.
that. It's a dirty 20.
dirty 20. Alright, you dirty your knowledge base searching around.
Dirty knowledge base.
Dirty knowledge base.
That's cool.
You search your memories, and you think back. The sound of this kind of a hut on legs is a familiar one. You feel like you've heard about this somewhere. And then it clicks. You know exactly what kind of old lady has taken in your poor mother.
She's gonna eat her.
Or your scheming mother, depending on like how you're looking at this. The perspective is,
Oh, she's getting disowned after this.
She's
is
getting
a whole
disowned
level
after
of
this.
Stupid. I cannot be related to someone who is this dumb.
However, there is something. So you could probably confirm that this is Baba Yaga herself. Now, there are a few things that you might know about Baba Yaga herself that might not have been initially sort of very apparent, and that is that she is basically an experimenter of sorts with the with various sort of arcane arts and alchemy and that sort of thing. She likes her potions and that sort of thing. She's not necessarily known to be a very friendly kind of figure. How on earth she managed to find herself in this sort of plane, you have no idea. This is something that you've heard about in the sort of like folklore growing up, maybe. It's not necessarily a character that you would have read about in history books, but this is sort of like the historical sort of folklore that you might have heard about when reading about this sort of thing. So not necessarily sort of like stories that you would have read yourself growing up, but there's like stories that would have been told to maybe Alaria when she was younger, or something like that. So from a long time ago. However, it's not something that you necessarily...
And yet she wandered into her hut and did not identify her by name. Dumb beach.
Maybe she doesn't know. Who knows? But Baba Yaga, from your understanding, from what you've read about Baba Yaga, is the type of person who wouldn't be so keen to maybe take care of somebody if it wasn't for some sort of reason to get to her own ends or something like that. The fact that Alaria is sick, I'll get you to roll for me an intelligence check as well.
Another dirty 20.
Another dirty 20. Alright. You could maybe reasonably make the connection that the fact that Alaria is feeling unwell and the fact that she's with Baba Yaga at the moment may be connected or intertwined in some sort of way. Now, Baba Yaga is definitely somebody who would probably in your books be considered to be a hostile enemy of sorts. She doesn't necessarily seem to be the kind of
Seducing
person.
Baba Yaga.
Seducing Baba Yaga is the clue. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. That's a conclusion that you come to, and I'll just leave it at that.
Likes chickens. I can become an Arapaho crow.
We've seen him.
True, you've been around Arkaka for a while now. Rip, Captain Featherbeard.
Greedy, lead the way.
Really, you lead the
Baba
rest of the party.
Bloody Yaga.
To Baba Bloody Yaga. As
I'm
you
gonna
do,
go.
make your trek through... You're going to have to travel through, essentially, one of the petals of this flower. Now, you've got a choice to go through. You've got either a slightly longer journey or a slightly shorter journey, depending on what you want to do. And we're also going to take a break before we actually go into it. But your options are as follows. You can either go back through the original crossroads that you kind of teleported into to start off with, which will take quite a bit longer and will bring you closer to what would be like the evening time of the day. Or if you want to save maybe a few hours, use a bit of the trees to your advantage, maybe, just stay shrouded or use the pillar to teleport through, you'd be able to save a little bit of time by going through essentially a part of terrain that is totally unknown to you. For Judy, this would have been the section that you saw that looked like kind of a metallic sort of scrapyard of sorts, with various sort of bits and bobs of metallic stuff kind of strewn about, as well as a little river. So those are your two options. So while you think about where you want to go and how you want to get to Baba Yaga's area, while this building kind of moves around and stays mobile, we will take a short break. So There's going to be time. Go to the loo, get some tea refills. It will be back in but a moment for more shenanigans. Stay tuned. Stay hydrated. We'll be right back.
Okay. We'll return. Post haste.
All right, we have audio. Hello. Actually, I should check. Lily, are you here as well? Because I actually don't know.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll get back up.
All right. Hello, Lily. Welcome back. Okay, we are now, and boom, bam, we have webcams up again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the party. I hope you guys are ready to get your dance moves on.
Why am I sideways?
Is this an Australian thing? You're in a different part of the world. Hello.
So that's what it's like living in Australia.
There we go.
There we go. The iPad woke up like, okay. Welcome back to the correctly oriented world. How are you doing?
Preferred it the other way.
Well, it's good to have you back. So, last we left off, we were inspecting Baba Yaga's property. Now, Rodridi, you have flown back to the rest of the group to lay down on the line what is going on as far as Alaria's whereabouts are concerned. And now, moving on from that point, you guys are about to traverse in your choice of directions to get here. So, before we went on our break, what I outlined was that you have two major sort of places you can traverse through initially. You can go through the original crossroads section that you went through before, if you want to take a little bit more time to get there, or you can trek through the sort of scrapyard area that Rodridi you saw, but is unknown to the rest of you as far as the on-foot travel is concerned. How would you like to make your way over?
Wherever we go, whatever way, I would like to be carried.
Okay.
Jade gets into position.
Cool, jumps up.
How long is this gonna take? Just out of curiosity, like the journey.
The journey will take a lot longer if you go through the crossroads, although there's a lot less terrain to traverse through there. If you go through the forest, it'll be a lot quicker because you can cut through a lot more land, and also you can potentially use the pillar if you'd like to transform, or not if you wouldn't want to, but either way, that'll be still a few hours faster. If you go back through the crossroads, where you initially sort of started off, it will be evening time by the time you get there, and kind of dark. If you go through the other way, it will only be approaching late afternoon.
Okay. Mostly just saying that Dredi's only a Tressum for 4 hours.
Okay, it would probably start wearing off around about now. Then in that case, if you've been in Tressum since you got here, right?
Yep.
Okay, I think right about now, around about 4 hours would have passed. So, having returned back, I think your Tressum form would have worn off probably, considering it was just after midday, sort of in the in-game time here. 4 hours later, it's now kind of like later in the afternoon. So you're going to be heading into the later part of the day from here on. So, how would you like to go? Tamara looks at the rest of you. Avarice looks at Tamara, then looks at the rest of you as well. Tamara speaks up. So, Rodridi, which way do we go?
There is the long way.
Yes.
We will get there by night.
Mhm.
There is the short way. There is metal fragments in the fields.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, is the long way safer?
Let's go the short way.
Okay.
I
I agree. We are in...
Okay.
Jade, did you have a thought?
No, this is fine. I was just going to say that I agree with Core. More direct, I prefer. Even if
Also,
we're moving
Baba
into path of
Yaga
danger.
might make my mum into soup.
Yep.
Yes, let us hurry.
Okay. Let's walk. And you guys make your way through. As you pop through the forests and you travel for a little bit, heading in the direct direction that Vijay would be leading you in at this point, kind of heading straight to the clearing where Baba Yaga's house would have been, taking as little time to deviate from a straight path as possible. You eventually sort of get through the trees out into this sort of clearing area where the river runs through, kind of cutting the whole island sort of in twain. As you walk through, Rodridi, actually, who is it leading the pack? Is it Rodridi? Are you at the front of this party?
Probably, since she's the only one who's like seen the terrain.
Okay. In that case, I would like for you to roll for me in just a moment. A D.
I don't like it when
Wait,
you
that's the
roll
wrong dice. Ah. A D12.
D12.
Oh.
Okay. 3.
Uh-oh.
3. Let me just-
We're not in trouble yet.
Okay. You traverse through, and I will hold on. I will switch back to the map view so that we are looking. You eventually make it to a point where you've got the river pretty much straight ahead of you. I put you on the jelly bean section of this island, but ahead of you, you've got the river, and it's kind of flowing pretty strongly here. You see a sort of small island before you, and then kind of more terrain leading ahead, and then further ahead of you in the distance, you've got trees. Very sort of open, sort of plain area. You've got a lot of room to move around, and there is something here that notices you as you make your way forward.
Okay.
You said it was a 3 on the d12, right?
Can we notice it?
You do notice it, as it notices you at the same time. Running up to you, I would like you to all roll for me some initiative as I describe the monstrosity that it is before you at this current time.
Stunning. 15 plus something.
Let me do this. Boop, 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 boop. I'll just write thing at the moment, and it's going to be... And... Let me bring this back up. Alright, so... Jade, what did you roll?
I rolled 19.
19. Verdridi, what did you roll?
18.
18. Core, what did you roll?
15.
15. Oh my goodness gracious. I actually don't think it's going to stand a chance. But Tamara and Avros are also going to roll because they're in this together. Avros not rolling very well. And Tamar also. Not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, so. First initiative. As you look at this monster lunging towards you, which I will denote with a red circle on this map, because I haven't gone. Let's just pop a little red circle over there, lunging towards you from this direction, a few feet away. It is Jade going first. You notice this big dog-looking thing. It's a very large sort of beast with a very scary-looking skull-like sort of head, with this crimson red fur, as if drenched in the blood of its prey. This big sort of beast with hooved feet and a long tail that kind of ends in a sort of spiky ball. It looks almost dinosaur-like, except covered in fur. This beast's face kind of looks like a sort of... It's hard almost to say. I can show you a picture, actually, of this thing.
Cool.
Look at this bad boy. Look at that. Look at his little face.
Oh dear Lord in heaven.
It's a little bit horrifying, but this guy runs towards you, and it looks very menacing. It does not look like it is ready to embrace you in open arms, into a hug of any kind. It looks like it's going to attack you. It's got these long sort of horns on its head, and these long sort of tusks as well, as it goes growling as it makes its way towards you. Jade, what would you like to do in your first round of initiative?
Okay. So, I would like to rush up to it and draw my bow.
Yep.
Two-handed.
Alright, how close do you want to get?
I want to get within melee range.
Okay, so 5 feet, pretty much touching.
5 feet, yep. And I'm going to start off with a stunning strike.
Yeah.
Where is that? Why can't I see that? Where are you? Stunning strike, yep. So I'm going to hit it twice. Spend a key point to do stunning strike. Oh. Ooh. You know, I don't know, 12?
12 does not hit.
Oh, okay, wow.
Unfortunately.
Hit today. And then this one will hit, I think. 21.
Yeah, just barely. No, yeah, that quite easily hits this large beast.
So I just kind of like roll the bow over, grasp it with my other hand, and try and like hit it with the pummel. I think that probably would just go right over its head. So with the follow through, I just whack down center of its forehead. And it's going to need to do a Constitution saving throw. Please.
Constitution saving throw. It has got fairly good Constitution, so this is going to be interesting. Let's have a look how it fares.
Takes 6 points of damage.
Alright, Constitution saving throw is a 16.
Oh no, just makes it.
Ooh.
Flurry of blows.
Alright.
Oh, flurry of blows. I could just... No, I'll do flurry of blows. I'll do flurry of blows. So that's another... Sorry, that's another key point. To get... Is it 2 more or 1 more? I'm sorry, let me just read.
Go for it.
2. Yep. Okay. With my I'm going to just like hold my bow under my arm and then pop it twice in the chin and in the cheek. Okay, I think this is gonna be alright.
Yep.
Dirty 20,
Hits.
17.
Hits. Both hit.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
6, 7, 11, 15 points.
15 points of damage. It looks like you do a fair amount of damage to this creature as you land your final blows. It looks like it's still got a fair amount of health left to go, but it looks like you're making a noticeable chunk of its health go down.
It for me.
Alright, hold on, let me do this. This is hard math. This minus 15 is... this. Oh! That's a funny number, but... There. Alright, with your turn out of the way, as you brace yourself for the next round of combat, Verdridi, it is your move currently now. You are with the group. You are about 5 feet away from Jade, 10 feet away from the monster. What would you like to do with your turn today? How would you like to proceed?
I would like to just kind of scooch like diagonally down from Tamar.
Okay, how far away do you want to go? Like down to the left?
Down below core.
Down below core. Ah, okay, I get you.
Yeah. I wanna make sure that I've got basically a good and then like one more down.
Okay.
I don't want to hit anybody with knives.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're getting a clear shot, is what I'm understanding, basically on this duder.
Yep, perfect.
All right. So go for it. How would you like to proceed with your potential stabby stab from a distance?
Yeah, I'd like to draw two daggers from my bracer and throw them.
All right, you take out a pen and pencil and you draw some daggers and you get ready to chuck them. Now, roll for me your throws.
Well, I know that one of them is not going to hit because that's an 8.
That will not hit, unfortunately.
But will the dirty 20 hit?
That one will just barely miss. No, okay, that one will definitely hit with ease. Your first one was like a training throw. Maybe you're not used to the gravity sort of in this sort of plane. It's a bit of a different area, you know. But with the second one, you account for the miscalculations in the trajectory of the first knife, and you just perfectly land the second one exactly where you're aiming for. How does it look? How is it going? How is it looking in this poor
You hear
beast's
these
face?
these two like whistles of like shoot through the air, and like this like kind of like crystalline like smash on like the ground at its feet, and then like another one like hit just kind of like on the shoulder and just kind of like shatter for 3 damage.
For 3 damage, it is going down. It is dead. No, it's not dead. It's got quite a lot of health left. But
Yeah.
it is looking angry. It's looking kind of mad. It's looking kind of frustrated that it's just been stabbed.
It's looking kind of sad. Oh.
That works as well.
It is.
It's looking kind of mad. It's looking kind of stabbed. I mean, sad. Oh my god. I keep saying that accident. Okay. In that case, Retreat, if there's nothing else you'd like to do with your turn, we will then move down the initiative order to the next person in line. Core, it is your turn in the queue. You are here. You are ready to get your canteen meal. What would you like to do with your turn?
So I can't see the map.
Okay, I can describe it for you. So, you're in a square, and then up to the right diagonally, 2 squares away from you is the monster. In a sort of L shape, like right next to the monster, is Jade. Right beside you is, to your left, basically, is Avros, Tamar. Beneath you is Vedridi. In front of you is Jade. And to your right, in the upper direction, you've got the monster 5 feet away from you. Everybody else is either within touch range, Avros and Tamar, or 5 feet away, Jade and Vedridi. What would you like to do? So you're very close to everybody, like in the middle of everything.
Okay. Oh, Aelin just sent me a photo, I think.
Yep.
Okay, Jade is too close for Core to do what he wanted to do.
I'm also a tank, don't forget, if it's a case of...
No, you will be very hurt if Core does this.
Jade, I like your tank
Cool.
shreds.
Okay, I can't do the thing I wanted to do. So 30 feet cube. I'm not sure if that means... Sorry, I'm just reading as well.
Yeah, go for it. Read away.
I think I can angle this so it only gets the creature, because it's kind of on the outside, because it's a 30-foot cube.
Oh, okay. So you want it. So you want so the 30-foot cube is just taking the creature.
Only on the creature.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna cast hypnotic pattern on the creature.
Okay. Ooh, hypnotic pattern. Are you moving at all, or are you staying where you are at?
I am not moving. I am quite comfortable being far away.
All right, you are far away. You are casting your magic. How does it work? How does it go down? Hit me up
It
with
is
the
a
details.
wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Wisdom is actually kind of okay for this creature. Surprised. But a very bad roll. That's looking like a Neff roll. That's a wisdom save roll of 6. How's it looking? It is not wise enough to save.
So this creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0 for 1 minute.
Ooh, incapacitated and a speed of 0 for 1 minute. How many rounds of
Yep.
combat is that? That's a lot of rounds of combat. It's like
10.
10 rounds of combat.
However, this spell will end if it takes damage.
If it takes damage, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Which it probably will soon. But in that case, if that's all you want to do for your turn, it is now incapacitated and it's got a speed of 0. Making sense because it's incapacitated. It's the creature's turn, and it's probably just not going to be able to do anything in its incapacitated state. So, that's just going to be it. It's just going to
It's
chill.
like staring at a laser pointer. I imagine it's like a cat with a laser pointer. It's like...
I think so, yeah. I think it's just immobile now. I don't think it can do anything unless it takes a wisdom save on each one of its turns.
No.
Did
No.
the core let the group know that, like, what the effect of the spell is?
I don't think he can. I don't think he is... Oh, speaking of free action?
I would say on
Just
your
to say,
next...
like, no whack whack.
No whack whack.
Yeah,
Oh.
like,
Do
Don't
not
damage it or
that
something.
thing.
You could probably somehow attempt to communicate that. I will get you to roll for me a check, though, to see if that comes across. Since we're doing this very quickly within your own round of combat. Roll for me a performance
whack
check. A no whack whack
Performance?
check. Performance, yeah.
A waku waku.
That was very badly cocked. Hold on. Natural 20.
Natural 20, you perfectly communicate that you
Yay.
would not like people to whack this thing. If that's what you're trying to communicate.
Yes.
Alright, in that case, Tamar, as he rears back his
Whack,
axe, gets your message and it decides to use his turn to not do anything and will pass his turn. Avros will do the same, taking your action into consideration and will not do anything. Now, with both of their turns out of the way, as Cor is instructed not to do a hit. No whack, please. Don't do this. Jade, it is back to your turn in the order. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Just checking there's something I can do. So just to check, from my perspective, what does the creature look like right now? Does it seem aggressive, or is it just completely incapacitated?
If I understand the spell, it's just completely incapacitated for
Hypnotized.
a few
Sweet.
more rounds of combat. So right now, let's see. Let me just check. 1, 2,
Okay,
For
is it a
10 more rounds of combat.
for 6 more
does it
from
repeat
Jade.
the saving throw? Does it repeat the saving throw on its turns?
Awesome.
Also, when it's Thomas, rounds of combat means the whole.
Oh, the whole round! It's not a
Yeah.
turn, yeah. So, yeah. Still, we have to wait to get back to core for it to be more rounds of combat. Damn, that's true!
So it's actually
Cool.
quite a while.
Holy moly, yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. Because I'm just gonna. This might be a little bit meta,
Go for it.
but I kind of know that there's a chance it could pass its next saving throw, after Core's turn. So
I don't think it
I'm.
gets to retake it. Hold on.
Does
Is
it not?
That would be really overpowered if it can just be incapacitated forever.
If it's not, then I'm not going to do the thing I was going to do.
Can I just read it? Hold on.
Go for it.
Sure.
No, it can't retake its saving throw for 1 minute.
Sweet.
Damn.
It's not overpowered though because it can be shaken out of it and it.
I guess,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
if
yeah.
anybody takes if it takes damage or
Just
anything.
because I was
Very
going
well.
to do patient defense. I was going to do patient defense because that's the only thing I can do, which isn't. But that's the key point, so I'm not going to do that then.
Fair.
And I will just back away slowly.
Well, okay. I think, yeah, in that case, as soon as it reaches cores around,
You know what? Actually, no. I'll dash towards the house. We gotta
dash
get
towards
there
the
anyway.
house. Alright, so
Yeah.
you dash away. You are dashing as you dash.
Just Jade's just running. Like, see ya.
You yeet out of here to get as
Out of
far away from this
character.
creature as possible. So you
Let's
are
go.
just zooming away. So I'll pop you way up over here somewhere. You are like treading through water at this point, up there. In that case, for Dridi, it is now your move. What would you like to do on your turn?
Yeah. Since
Ooh.
we're not gonna attack it, Drini's just gonna can dash forward, yeah.
Alright, you dash forward as well. And I'm guessing, Core, if you would like, we can end the round of initiative here and we can just keep running if everybody's going to start bolting from here while this
Run
creature is
away.
hypnotized.
Run
How
away.
much dashing we can do in 10 rounds of combat?
You can do quite a lot. By that point,
900 feet for Jade.
that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit of movement. That's pretty far. You guys will make a lot of ground up. So I'm going to say that you are going to be out of combat there. And you are
Jade
dashing.
turns and suggests that we stealth the moment we're about 500 feet away.
Okay.
That's not a
From
bad
that
idea.
point.
Alright, so let me just drag your character models.
You know what? How close do we look to Baba Yaga's at this point?
In feet
As in, like,
or in
would
time?
we be either? Both?
Either? It's going to take maybe another hour of travel. Just
Okay,
going
never
at,
mind then.
going at your current pace. It is getting
I think-
later into the evening now, but you are making it there. It's hard to say exactly how much.
Just before we're about
Yes.
to enter, Jade will do pass without a trace so that we have a bit more cover.
Okay.
Just when we get into the immediate vicinity, but
Sure.
not just yet. I don't think we have to worry about this thing too much.
Alright, so as you make your way through
Forget
running,
about Yaga.
you eventually start to get to a point where the clearing, Rodridi, to you, begins to start to resemble the general area where Baba Yaga's house was. The trees are starting to match, and it's starting to look kind of similar, and you can't yet see the house, but you are getting into that zone where it's starting to kind of look like you're in the near vicinity.
Can we see big chicken footprints?
You can. They are all over the place currently. In this general area where you are, they're in all directions, walking all over the place, it looks like. So it looks like the house has just been wandering around.
It seems like it would be very unstable to live in a house like that. I think you'd get motion sickness. It just seems like a bad investment, I think. I wouldn't buy a house with legs.
I
We
wouldn't
can
buy a house with legs.
that
That's a
doesn't
quote.
have legs.
What?
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 What'd you say?
But okay.
Jade says we can buy a house that doesn't have legs.
Okay. You said, why would you buy a house that doesn't have legs? And I was like,
No.
Jade.
True, I only buy houses with legs. But anyway, as you get to this point, you eventually reach a point in the trail where the river cuts through again, and there's sort of a tree trunk or a tree that's sort of fallen over that kind of crosses this sort of area of the river, where the river seems to flow a little bit more fast, it's a little bit deeper, a little bit harder to traverse across carefully without getting carried away by the current. But you're getting very close. Virginia, you do notice, however, that in the distance where the house would have been before, it is no longer at, currently. Or at least you can't see from this vantage point. And you're now here, in this sort of clearing area, and that's what you see before you. There are trees all around, and you've got this river that can be crossed, potentially somehow. You've got that log kind of over the top of it, if you'd like to use that. Otherwise, there are many ways to improvise in D&D. So, how would you like to proceed?
Survival check.
Alright, what are you looking for? Go for it.
Well, house on legs is going to leave footprints.
I like that. I'm gonna write that down.
Yep, okay, survival check. What'd you get?
I hadn't rolled it yet.
Oh, okay, go for it. Roll the survival check, and I will let you know what kind of information you gain about the footprints on the ground.
Well,
If Core is looking at them
first-
as well, you can roll with advantage, because Core was inspecting them as well, I think.
Well, here's the thing. I don't need to roll with advantage.
Oh, shoot.
It is
Drudy
the
looks
six-
at Core and says, I don't need your help. Core's like,
No.
Okay.
Drudy is thankful for the help, but
Consider it like,
let me just drop this natural 20 into the chat.
Ooh. Oh.
Actually, I'll just drop them both because there were two this session.
We are farming the nat 20s.
Yeah. So 24.
Nice. Alright. So, with your amazing, insanely good roll, you are looking at these footprints, and you can see the ones that are closer to you are a little bit older. It seems like the house has not traveled around this area. You can see across the river there are more footprints there, but you need to get a closer look to actually be able to properly carry over that roll and continue to inspect them to see if you can track where the house might have gone and which footprints are the most fresh, which you feel very confident that you can do with your crazy good roll. But in order to get to that point, you need to cross the river somehow. which is directly in front of you, separating you from the area where you did see the house before, where you were inspecting it, versus where you are currently standing.
Okay, is that fallen log over the river
Yeah.
a thing?
Yes.
Jordy just kind of gestures at the log. Shall we?
I think it seems stable enough.
Jade will cross it to see if it's stable.
Alright, Jade, you begin to climb this log that is kind of...
As the most acrobatic, probably.
Where did I just realized J disappeared. I'm going to draw another J.
Oh.
Green. Where's this green color? Jade is going to have a very homemade looking J. It's kind of... Okay, this is like a Sesame Street J or something. But, Jade, you make your way across, and you begin to cross this log. And it's looking pretty okay. Will you cross it the whole way, or how far are you going? Are you just testing it to see, and then waiting for the others, or are you trying to make it all the way across first?
I think it's kind of pointless unless the whole thing is going to hold up. Jade is heavy enough that it's a decent test, so he will go the whole way.
Alright, so as you cross, you feel a sort of creaking beneath you. As if you're crossing over a sort of like a rickety bridge of sorts. But it does hold, and the tree is just big enough that it won't really roll anywhere. The top of the tree is still pretty much intact. So once you get to the other end, there's a big bushy sort of a leafy canopy on the ground waiting for you to traverse through. But you make it through that terrain, and you eventually make it to the shoreline on the other side, looking over at the others, and you're just smiling and waving.
I smile and I wave at them.
Alright, the rest of you, are you all crossing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, you all walk across.
Can I go first because I don't weigh very much, and if you break the log, it's not my fault.
Okay, Cora, you head across first
like
without the rest of the group. You make your way across very quickly. Roll for me a dexterity check as you get your way across here.
9.
9? You almost trip over the leaves at the kind of end, but you eventually make it over to Jade without very much hesitation. It is generally pretty easy to cross through, but there is a point where it looks like Cora almost falls into the water, but Cora catches himself.
Seeing that, Jade is going to be like, I could have probably helped prevent this, and is going to use some strength and also some gestures to show the others the best path and try and hold down the log a bit to secure it somehow.
Okay,
See if that can give them a bit more steady footing.
You go over and you hold the log down.
Just because Cor can look after and handle himself. Tamar needs a babysitter.
Well, speaking of Tamar is probably going to go next. Watching Cor almost fall in, he thinks to himself, this is an opportune time for me to actually fall in, and he starts to make his way across. Now, he's also going to roll a dexterity check. And he actually, surprisingly, despite
Tamar
his...
sees Cor do something, and he's like, I'm going to do that, but worse.
I'm going to do that, but fail. Well, he makes it across with relative ease. It seems like the tree also creaks underneath his own footsteps, as it did with you, Jade. You hear that as he walks across there, as it starts to kind of, sort of, maybe start to give way under the weight. It looks like this tree's been falling for a little while, and the water's maybe worn it down a little bit, but Tamar makes it across and does
you really
not...
should have gone last. Plus the thick boy.
But Avarice didn't look like he was too keen on going immediately, so I figured I might just use this opportunity to make it across. And
yeah, but Avarice looks like he weighs a little bit less than me, to be honest. So
I'm not actually sure about that. He was snacking quite a bit.
Yeah, but muscle weighs more than fat.
Well.
He keeps his voice down, so Avarice is not here.
Well, meanwhile, on the other side...
Cake can be heavier than a sack of nuts.
You're saying Avarice has cake? You've been checking Avarice's cake out?
I thought we were talking about your cake. I apologize.
The cake boy starts to make his way across. It is prickly. He is getting... his skin is getting punctured by the sharp, woody shrapnel of the tree at the edge where it kind of broke apart and fell over. He gets a few splinters.
Not to squish the cake.
But he attempts to make it across, and he's going to roll as well.
I'm sorry, Cor. I wasn't listening. I was holding
Jade
down
wants your
this
cake
log.
over intact.
What's this about cake? You hear as Avarice jumps down. Thank you, Jade, for holding down the fort. Is there a cake here? I heard a cake. Is there a cake? Or did you bring a cake?
Oh, you just brought the cake.
Oh, I do. There's no cake.
I made a mistake by insinuating that you have cake.
I missed cake.
That wasn't... I'm gonna go lay face down in the dirt now.
Alright, Jade, you lay down, face down in the dirt.
That's more of a Tamar move. Jade is just gonna go
True.
stand motionless in a corner like an NPC.
Well, as you go stand in the figurative corner, Virginia, it is now your turn to make your way across. Roll for me a dexterity check as you carefully make your way across this.
It is an 11.
11, you make your way over, and it is a little bit rickety for you. You can kind of feel that it's a little bit more wobbly than it looked like it would have been for the others crossing. But you do manage to keep your grasp on the tree, and as a tree aficionado yourself in some ways, you do make it across with relative ease compared to how hard it may have seemed initially. And even with your roll, you do make it across without very much fuss, and you are all on the other side, chilling together as you are now staring ahead of you into the grand plain before you, where Baba Yaga's house is surprisingly missing. There's just a plain before you. However, there are a lot of tracks around this sort of area. Now, remind me quickly, who was it again that was checking the tracks? Was it you, Verdridi?
Mainly Drudy.
Yeah.
Mainly Verdridi, okay.
Trudy,
You are all heading together, though,
I
I'm
do-
assuming.
I
go-
do have something to show you all.
What is it? Oh, wait! I need to click. Oh!
Oh, I love that.
Oh! That is cool as! The little wandering party. How do you go so fast?
And then
I know,
Avros
right?
is saying, like, because he's a silly boy, huh, she's right.
I love Avros' little.
Oh, she's right.
Huh.
Uh,
The other arts we have is Jade and Core running away.
grrr. I love the artistic depictions. That's so cool.
That's amazing.
Alright, so your entire party, the entire troop together, make their way to inspect this sort of clearing where it looks like Baba Yaga's house was at one point. You can see big footprint marks on the ground, which are not obvious on the map because there aren't any. But in the game setting, you look around and you inspect your environment, and you do take note of what looks like the remnants of tracks that are left behind from Baba Yaga's house. Trying to follow these, you very quickly ascertain that the house must have gone through kind of to the left of where you're currently looking. Rodridi, with your natural 20, you gain this information pretty quickly and with relative ease, looking for exactly what you need to be looking for in those tracks. You are checking the freshness of the mud. You are sniffing it. You're inspecting it. You're looking for the depth of the footprints. You're looking for new growths that might be growing over. You're checking every little pebble and stone, leaving none of them unturned. And you eventually figure out where exactly the house must have gone. There's a short clearing nearby that looks almost identical to this one, because I have the same exact map, but with the house. Where the house looks like it might be resting. And you can see it through the trees in the short distance away from you. Not too far away. As you peer through
Jade,
the
Jade,
forest.
do you think?
So, I've never really described the pass without a trace and how it works before, except for Jade. So I think I'm going to finally do this.
Go for it.
So, what happens when Jade casts Pass Without the Trace, I think, is that the sort of like the vines and like the moss that kind of just naturally grow on him just kind of bloom a little bit more and just like
Oh.
take on like a chameleon the aspects of the nature around him. So you watch as he just kind of becomes more tree-like, and like just kind of as he sort of stands there, sort of like seems to like, you know how artists can like do body paint to make themselves kind of disappear, but like not really.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like. And as each of you kind of just like try and like blend in, you see like some of the sort of like that, like if you like touch his hand or touch his side, that kind of like goes onto you as well, and you kind of chameleon slightly.
Oh, what? That's cool as.
That's not my
Neat.
colour, though.
No, I think it's like a slightly tailored to everyone.
Yeah, I
'Cause
like
you
that.
can't change too much. Like a pink person is still gonna look pink, but maybe they'll just look more like a rose bush or something like that.
Yeah, like
Than
hard to
like
spot.
a boulder, which is kind of what Jade looks like. Probably too
Yeah,
much.
like just giving you
No,
advantage
Jade
and stuff,
no.
basically, right?
Jade looks like a jade, a piece of jade rock, like a large jade boulder, and then Tamar looks like a tree trunk.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. All right. So
And together we are a copse.
you are together in your crazy troop with your dashing good looks as you are now ready to traverse through this forest and make it to the other end. Now, are you guys stealthing?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, you get a +10 as well as your bonuses.
All right. Roll
need
some
plus
stealths
10.
for me, and let me know what your
16.
stealths are. 16.
Don't forget to add 10. Oh.
That was with a +10.
Oh. Oh god. 32.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Jade will stand in front of the. Will lead the pack.
There's some good stealths. All right. Virginie.
30-20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah, with the +10.
With a +10, it's fair, that's fair, that's fair. That's fine. Look, Tamar didn't do it quite as well. He got a 14 with a +10.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know, an 18. I miscalculated that. Never mind, I can't do math. It's fine.
Okay, that's better.
So all of you manage to stealth quite effectively, and you make your way through the forest to another section of forest. And you eventually emerge outside. Looking onwards, you see about 20 feet away from you, Baba Yaga's house just kind of resting. It looks like it hasn't noticed you. And it's just chilling. You see smoke coming out of the chimney. And it's just sort of waiting there. It's just sort of perched right now. It looks like the house itself is resting. Maybe in almost like a sleepy sort of state. Getting that it's a bit... Given that it's now like becoming more of like a nighttime sort of time of day, where it's getting a little bit darker, you get the idea that maybe the house itself, however alive it may be, is getting to the point where it's going to need to start taking a rest itself. But you do see it in front of you, just kind of sitting there. And you're all staring at
Should we
it.
sneak in?
Well, roll for me an investigation check, Core, if you're looking for a place to sneak in.
Good thing I have a good bonus to that. It's 17.
17? Alright, so with your 17... Ooh, I can make it like nighttime. That's kind of cool. Alright, with your 17, you have a look around, and you try to kind of sneak around a little bit to see if you can get a good vantage point of, like, the house itself. To see if you can get, like, a good perspective on where you might be able to sneak in. Very quickly, you start to notice that there are no windows of any kind, and there's only one door at the very front. There's a front door, and it seems like there are no other ways to get into the house unless you actually break through the wooden wall itself. It is very kind of shut off from the outside environment. It doesn't look like any natural light really seeps into the house, so that's kind of what you get. Outside of maybe crawling underneath the house and like inspecting the floorboards, you don't get much of an idea of any other alternative entrances outside of the main one that you could potentially break in through. And that's kind of what you get from your investigation check.
Mm-hmm.
Do you relay that to the party?
Yes.
Alright. Avarice looks like you were concerned. So, are you saying that we only have one way in?
Yes.
Okay. What if we
Or we
climb...
could make a way in.
We could. Is the house alive, though? Cor, you seem to know a little bit about this. What's the deal with this house? Should we be making holes in it?
Pretty sure it is alive. I'm just checking something because I don't have my spell sheet here.
Mhm.
How big are the feet?
Very big.
Like, give
Come
me a
on, Core. You can't seduce a house.
size. How big are the feet? In feet.
In feet, they're probably like 10 feet long.
What's like the radius?
The radius, 5 feet. It's like a
5 feet? Yes. Okay, okay.
It's like a 10-foot
Um,
cube, basically. Like 10 feet by 10 feet.
Okay, I can get one of them. I'm just reading this because I don't have my spell sheet for my druid cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Snare.
Ooh.
Successful intelligence. I'm just reading it to make sure I can do this. Okay. I'm gonna put a snare directly in front of one of these feet.
What's
So
a
if it
s-
takes-
Okay.
If it takes a step,
Oh my god, yeah.
if it takes a step, essentially, it's going to be hoisted into the air.
What? Can you
Must
do that on
succeed
a...
on a dex save,
Ooh.
or it'll be hanging above the ground. It is restrained there for 8 hours.
It's like a
Um,
magical snare. Can you do it on huge constructs?
You can do it on big things. it
Yeah.
says.
What does the snare
Um,
do? Sorry? How does it work? Just seeing if there's anywhere I
It
can
holds it in the air
Yeah. Does it
for 8 hours, essentially.
would it be like a dexterity
I'm
save?
just reading it.
Because
Yeah, it's a deck save.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see.
for the house, okay, I'll make it the save. If it does hit it, though, I guess you're just putting it there to see if it actually hits it or not. Right in
Let me
front of it.
see.
Ooh,
I can.
that's
hang on.
gonna be interesting. Oh, this is so
Right.
weird.
Okay.
It's a level. Sorry, it's not a cantrip. It's a level 1.
Okay.
But I do not have it. If you look on my sheet, I don't have it because it's a paper spell that Aelin gave to me, and I printed them out to sub them in for both Ulster and.
Yeah, because it's a Xanathar's.
Mm,
That's
Ooh,
how.
I have
That's
that.
how
Okay, so-
Ulster can do primal savagery because it's one of my paper spells.
Yep. Okay. I think it's cool, and Jade is gonna sort of like see Core like planning this, and he's gonna say, I could draw it towards the snare. I could go up and whack it.
Should we restrain the house?
Tamara looks at you. I think that's a
Should
wonderful
I
idea.
restrain the house?
Let's
Because
restrain the house.
if I can incapacitate it, or if I can't, no, sorry, if I can stun it, then it gets disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Ooh, oh my
Alright,
god.
let's do it.
Alright,
Okay.
go for it. And if you're attempting to hit it, tell me what kind of damage you're doing.
It will be
Try to hit the
bludgeoning.
legs.
Bludgeoning?
Yes.
Alright, okay, go for it.
Okay, so I'll wait for. So I
Okay,
will.
Paul sets up the snare.
Okay. So as Core prepares snare, I want to angle myself.
Mhm.
Let's look at the map. Sorry. Oh, why did my Safari crash? Okay, sorry. Can you describe? Is there a place which would be like the best place to be to do this? Can I see that? Can
You
I
could
obtain that?
you could sneak right up to the house if you want to attempt to hit it. Anywhere around the
Cool.
house would be
How
fine
about
as long as you stay in stealth.
Oh, I'm stealthed. So
Yes.
am I gonna get a surprise round on it?
You will, yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Thomas
going
is just like,
to.
I did not anticipate this.
I did not anticipate this, but the house does have
No.
stats, which is fun.
Okay, so here is what I will do. As I see that Core has prepared, I will move round to the front of the house so that it's the position where, if its instinct was to move forwards, it would go that way.
Alright, you're within
rather than
touch
going away
range
from me.
right in front of the house.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my bow, two-handed,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do. Seeing as I want to have as many chances to get this as possible, I'm going to do a full round of attacks on it.
Okay.
So, okay.
Swatting it into its depths.
13.
13
13 on the first one
to hit?
to hit.
It
Probably
misses.
not going to do it. It misses.
Okay.
Oh, I did have. Oh, sorry. No, I had advantage. 18.
How much?
18. I have advantage on the first hit because it's a surprise round. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what is your roll again?
18.
18 does hit.
18. Okay. I am now going to make a Constitution saving throw,
Alright.
please.
Its constitution is pretty good. This is its best saving throw.
That's snare.
It has to do.
That's...
Oh,
It's
this is a stunning strike. Yeah.
It is a nat 1.
Yes. Okay. It is now stunned. And I mean, I might as well do the damage.
It's
It
funny. It's
takes
immune to a lot of things, but
7.
not to being stunned. That's funny.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
It takes 11 points of damage. I
Bludgeoning.
might as well. I mean, I might as well hit it again, seeing as I'm right here.
Wait, 11
Makes
points
sense,
of
makes
bludgeoning,
sense.
is it?
Yeah.
Alright, it's resistant, so it'll take
Um,
half that damage.
Okay. Then it's 16 for the next strike.
So 8? Or is
No,
that
as in
2?
16 to hit,
Oh, to hit. Yes, that does just barely make it.
and it's another 11 points, so 11 total for that round.
Yep, okay. I was going to round it in your
Okay.
favor. I rounded it down to
Okay.
6 and then down to 6 again, so it's taking 12 instead, so...
Sweet. Okay, and then I will signal to Core. To cast snare on it.
Oh, it's cast already. It's a trap.
Sweet,
So,
okay.
So if it
no
just
way to
walks
miss it.
ahead, it'll,
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it can't walk, it
So-
is stunned. So it can't move.
Okay, then what I will do is with that.
Mhm.
Okay, then because my kind of like plan was to like lure it forwards.
Mm-hmm.
Then
You can still stay, like, facing it, so that if it does start to move
it doesn't say that it can't move.
when it's stunned...
Yeah. Oh, sorry, no, it can't move. Sorry.
I have a
Okay, then what
question.
I will do is I will use my strong powers to run around to the back and just push it into the snare.
Okay. I have something that might work with that.
Go on.
What
then.
is the size range on is this house considered a large creature?
It's considered a huge creature.
Oh,
Not large. It's huge.
Oh,
Does
then the
snare-
snare's not gonna work.
okay.
It's only on large creatures.
I was
Okay.
just gonna let you have the snare out. I you know, that's why I was
Because if
asking
it was
you for-
considered large, I was gonna say Drini could attempt to use like a vine whip and pull it into the snare.
No, according to the
No,
character sheet,
I-
it is a huge construct.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then let's.
I think we have to retcon the whole thing then, because I assumed
Okay.
if it fit in the snare, then it was okay. But
Okay, I'm
That's
guessing
what I
if you
okay.
wouldn't have put the snare, then Jade wouldn't have tried attacking the house.
Okay.
No. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me put back my key point.
and let me get
I,
my spell.
I think a fun way of interpreting this is this is a plan that you guys in a group are like discussing and you're planning.
We have a group imagination session.
Yeah, and then it's like,
"Ah."
and Tamar says to himself, "Yeah, I think that is a good idea, but does a snare work in
Okay.
a house
Let me
this
think of
big?"
something else. Well, there's no other way in.
There is a front
Okay.
door, and it is made of
There's a
wood.
door.
There is a door, which is not. It doesn't look open.
Oh no, there's definitely got to be a way I can do this.
Okay, you
Okay, can I ask you a question?
go for it.
Are there any trees around?
There are heaps of trees everywhere.
Okay. Is there any bark on the trees?
Yep, yes.
Like, as in, like, large bark? Like it doesn't have to be huge, but just big enough.
Yes, yeah, they are. There's some big,
Right,
there's some
I'm
big
looking
trees.
I'm looking for 3 things specifically.
Okay.
I'm looking for a kind of like, you know how like sometimes in large root trees there are like just gaps, like holes, gaping holes.
Yep.
I'm looking for one of those.
You
I'm
can
looking
yeah,
for a
you-
sheet of bark.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for any like loose, kind of sharp-looking rock.
All right. For all of these, I would like you to roll for me one investigation check with advantage because you're like in the
Cool.
prime area to find all these things.
Okay.
Did you say chalk was the last?
Guys-
What was the last thing you were looking for?
Please trust me. This is a 16.
16. Okay, with the 16 investigation, what was the last thing that you were trying to look
Yeah.
for again? I already forgot. I know the first two, but what was the last one?
Sharp piece of rock.
Sharp piece of rock. All right, you look around. You very quickly just turn around and you see a tree that has a very big piece of bark that you can just take off. It
Okay.
is like the size
I would
of
like
a
to do
person. It
this.
is huge.
I lean it against the gaping hole.
Okay.
I will etch with the rock a random number, like 12, number 12, and then stab the rock through the bark, and it's a door now.
Oh. Oh, like a handle?
Yeah.
What's
So
that?
I would like to now
I-
use my pillar to open the door and then walk into the house.
Oh, like that! Oh my god.
Right, it's
Damn.
a door.
It is.
Technically.
It is a door.
It's
Yeah.
a door.
You made a door.
It's a door.
Your
So I
pillar.
would like
Your
to
pillar
open
works
this
on
door
any
to the house.
like. Yeah. That's pretty good. Holy moly! All right.
George really impressed.
All right.
That's amazing.
Jade, you create a doorway, essentially, into Baba Yaga's house to use on the inside of the door, which you can see the outside of,
Okay.
which I will let you do. Because you can see the door on the outside of Baba Yaga's house, I'll let you use that door to essentially create a portal with your specific pillar to teleport into the house.
Yay.
So you basically, you open the door
That
and
looked so weird for a minute there.
you walk in, or you open the door, and you see from your perspective a drop into the ground, essentially. However, it's like, you know, defying gravity because it's like a portal sort of situation where now, like, into the ground, you've essentially got like this whole room. It looks like it's far bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, kind of deal. You see an intricate sort of room, and it's, hold on, do I have that map up somewhere? The interior, yes. All right, so you're essentially entering from the very front, which would be right here, I think. Yeah, right here. You enter, or you look into what looks like an area, like a homely sort of area with a table, fireplace, carpets. You see a chicken coop on the left-hand side as you open the door into what looks like a Baba Yaga's place. And you take these surroundings in. And everybody else, you all see yourselves peering into this domain. The interior of this house, which looks far bigger than it should have any right to be on this inside. All this crazy stuff just all over, like, strewn about the place. but it is only this one room that you see in front of you. And I think as you all get a glimpse into this whole area and this room and everything that is within this sanctum of sorts, I think this is where we'll end the session. on this note of finding a very, very clever way into the house.
I'm so sorry.
I loved both of those ideas. Those are both really fun ideas. I like that. I like the idea of it. That was really funny. But I think we'll leave it there as you begin to either enter or inspect the inside of Baba Yaga's main sort of room, which you don't see Baba Yaga in, or Ilaria.
That's good.
Gonna kill Ilaria.
But you
Can't believe this.
do make some big progress and some big strides in making your way out of this place with Ilaria in tow. And that's where we'll end it. How are you guys feeling?
Okay.
How
That was
are you
great.
doing? that was chaotic as hell. Oh my god.
I'm making a very rough idea of what I think this house looks like. And I'm probably incredibly off, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
I like the artistic interpretations. There is no wrong answer.
I don't know what. I was just on a really artsy kick today.
Yeah, I love that, dude. That was really cool.
Also, now we have a really interesting trap idea.
Yeah.
If Core sets a snare, Jade can
I love
either
that.
stun or push somebody into the snare, and if we need a little bit of extra help, Dreedy can lasso, thorn whip, pull into the snare.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was
I think
crazy.
we've got a really good.
How big is a wyvern?
Probably large.
How big is a wyvern?
There we go.
We have a wyvern catching plan.
We have a wyvern catching plan.
A wyvern
are
catching
hungry.
plant.
We
Well, that was
have a
incredible.
wyvern catching plan.
That was fun. We had some. We got to use a lot of maps this session. There was a part of me that I thought we weren't ever going to get to this whole area, but hey, it was cool that we ended up getting here in a way. Laughs in DM. But chaos is definitely ensuing
Cool, we
in
ended
many
up getting
different
here
ways.
in one piece.
Yeah. I was interested to see where you were going to end up exploring in this sort of area. So that was fun. You got to see a decent chunk of areas around this sort of place.
This is what I imagine it looks like.
Yeah, that is. Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
The house. There's the door.
That's really cool. I really like that use of the pillar. That is really fun. Because you all have very unique pillars, so it's interesting to see where you guys are going to use these sort of things. I've set them up so it's they're ripe for surprises. Say again.
Dreety's pillar. I thought Dreety's pillar would maybe work, but
For Judy's pillar will work
no
in any
trees
sort of
on it.
natural root structure. Yours will work on sort of more what you basically did,
But
man-made
if the
sort of
house
structures.
is a creature, that's natural.
It's gonna have roots.
yes, that too.
It's gonna have big
It's
roots.
got roots.
How is it wood? How is it wood if it does not have roots?
I mean, planks don't
Answer
have
that,
roots.
Thomas. Yes, but it's a living creature. If it's dead,
No, but the wood
It has
isn't alive.
chicken feet instead of roots.
It's got chicken feet.
so that counts. It has chicken roots.
Chicken roots. That's so.
That's
Oh
your
my gosh.
chicken roots.
It's a threatening aura. Chicken roots. Do you eat your chicken with or without the roots?
Well, because eggs are where chickens grow from. Are those chicken roots? Are
Dree
eggs
cannot
chicken roots?
use scrambled eggs to teleport around the place.
Damn it, no.
Also
That's
known
kind
as
of
Should we start
horrifying.
street before they see how weird we are?
chicken fruit.
Chicken, no! No!
What eggs are.
Oh my god.
Don't you get back on the phone.
Alright, I think
That's where the call ends.
we'll bring this stream to a close. Thank you to everybody who watched. If you watched this on YouTube or Twitch, thank you very much. We'll be back again for more D&D shenanigans on Monday, I think, in our time for Disappointment Crew, the next session for that.
Yay.
And in probably 2 weeks from now for another episode of the Disappointment Crew, and then also for Shiny Boys, and then also Disappointment Crew. So stay tuned. It'll be roughly around about the same time, plus minus maybe a couple hours, depending on how things turn out. But it shall be good, and we'll see all of you people later. Thank you, all of you wonderful individuals for playing. Thank you, players. Appreciate and love you all. I can't wait to
Thank you.
see you guys again for more D&D.
Bye-bye.